There are moments when life feels like it's slipping through your fingers, but you can't quite figure out why. Maybe you've told yourself that everything will eventually fall into place, that time will fix things, or that tomorrow will be the perfect day to start fresh. But deep down, you know the truth. You've been avoiding certain realities, and those choices are piling up. The things you ignore today will grow into obstacles tomorrow, and by the time you confront them, they might be too big to overcome. The hard truths you've been running from aren't just minor issues. Left unchecked, they can shape a future you never intended to live. It's easy to believe that staying comfortable is the safest way forward. After all, no one likes facing uncertainty, failure, or discomfort. But growth never happens when you stay within the walls of comfort. Life has a way of testing you, whether you like it or not. Each challenge you dodge now only guarantees a harder one later. The truth is, nothing stays the same. Time moves forward, and if you're not moving with it, you'll be left behind. Every day you delay action is a day you'll never get back. Time doesn't care if you're ready, it keeps moving. And waiting for the right moment is the quickest way to lose yourself in a sea of missed opportunities. Fear plays a powerful role in all of this. Fear whispers that you're not good enough, that failure is too risky, and that it's safer to stay where you are. But every time you let fear win, your world shrinks. Fear feeds off inaction, becoming stronger every time you refuse to confront it. It's not failure that ruins people, it's the fear of failure that keeps them stuck in place. The hard truth is that waiting for fear to go away before you act is a trap. The longer you wait, the more fear tightens its grip. Facing fear head-on is the only way to weaken it. Each time you confront what scares you, you take back a piece of your power. And over time, those small acts of courage build a life of strength. Responsibility is another truth we tend to avoid. It feels easier to shift the blame to circumstances, other people, or bad luck. But when you refuse to own your life, you also give away your power to change it. Every excuse is a temporary relief, but it locks you in place, robbing you of the freedom to grow. The truth is that no one else is coming to fix things for you. You are the only one responsible for your choices, your actions, and your future. Owning that responsibility may feel heavy, but it's the key to unlocking freedom. It's only when you take full ownership of your life that you realize how much power you truly have. There's a misconception that success should come easily, that if something is meant to be, it won't require sacrifice. But success, real success, demands effort, discipline, and the willingness to let go of comfort. Every meaningful achievement comes with a price. The question isn't whether you're capable of reaching your goals, it's whether you're willing to make the necessary sacrifices along the way. The road to success isn't paved with shortcuts. It's built through small, consistent actions that no one else sees. It requires saying no to distractions, staying disciplined when motivation fades, and pushing forward even when it feels like progress is slow. The truth is, success isn't glamorous. It's messy, lonely at times, and demands more from you than you thought you had to give. But the rewards are worth every bit of the struggle. One of the harshest truths is that change doesn't wait for your permission. Whether you're ready or not, life will move on. Resisting change only leads to frustration and suffering. What feels safe and comfortable today will eventually become the source of regret if you let it hold you back. It's natural to crave stability, but the truth is, stability is an illusion. Life is always in motion, and the only way to thrive is to move with it. The longer you cling to the idea that things should stay the same, the harder it becomes to grow. Change isn't your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. Every time you embrace change, you expand your limits and discover new parts of yourself. It's tempting to ignore emotions, to bury them and hope they disappear. But emotions don't go away when you suppress them. They fester and grow stronger, controlling you from the inside. Avoiding emotions may feel like strength, but it's really avoidance disguised as self-control. The hard truth is that you can't run from what you feel. Emotions are meant to be processed, not ignored. When you face them with honesty, you learn how to navigate them wisely. And through that process, you build emotional resilience, the ability to stay grounded even when life is chaotic. Emotional awareness isn't a weakness, it's one of the greatest strengths you can develop. Relationships are another area where uncomfortable truths often go unnoticed. Not every connection is worth keeping, and not everyone deserves your trust. The people you surround yourself with shape your reality. Some relationships are draining, holding you back from becoming the person you want to be. It's easy to hold on to people out of fear or obligation, but sometimes letting go is necessary for growth. Healthy relationships require effort, boundaries, and mutual respect. And the truth is, not everyone will stay with you as you grow, and that's okay. The people meant to be in your life will walk beside you, not hold you back. There's no success worth having if it comes at the cost of your health. Poor health affects every area of your life, your energy, your clarity, and your ability to pursue your goals. It's easy to ignore health when everything feels fine, but neglect always catches up. Small habits compound over time, and what you do today will shape the quality of your future. The truth is, no amount of success can replace the value of good health. Taking care of yourself isn't just a personal responsibility, it's an investment in your future. The future you dream of will not create itself. It requires action, commitment, and the willingness to confront the truths you've been avoiding. Every choice you make today is building your future, whether you realize it or not. You can't control everything, but you can control how you respond to life's challenges. The question is, will you face the truth and take action, or will you let fear and procrastination ruin what could have been? This moment, right now, is the turning point. The future is not waiting for you. The life you want is within your reach, but only if you're willing to step forward and claim it. No one else can walk this path for you. The truths you've been avoiding are not obstacles, they are the keys to your freedom. And the sooner you face them, the sooner you'll unlock the future you were meant to live. So, what will it be? Will you continue to drift, or will you take the first step toward the life you deserve? The choice is yours, and your future depends on it. The truths you've been avoiding have a way of creeping into your life, silently shaping your choices and steering you away from what you truly want. Among the most dangerous of these truths is procrastination. It doesn't come crashing in like a storm. Instead, it slips in unnoticed, disguising itself as harmless delays and stolen moments. But every time you push something to tomorrow, you are feeding a habit that slowly tightens its grip on your future. It's subtle, deceptive, and before you know it, procrastination controls more than just your tasks. It begins to shape your identity, erode your dreams, and build a wall between you and the life you're meant to live. The cost of avoiding what needs to be done today will always be greater than the comfort of delay. At its core, procrastination is not about laziness. The lie we often tell ourselves is that we'll do better when we feel more motivated or rested, but the truth is more uncomfortable. Procrastination is rooted in fear of failure. When tasks seem too big or too important, they awaken fears of not measuring up, of making mistakes, or of being judged. Avoiding those tasks feels safer than facing the possibility of falling short. Every time you procrastinate, you're choosing temporary comfort over long-term growth. It's a way of protecting yourself from failure, but in reality, it only ensures that failure becomes inevitable. You also delay tasks because they force you out of your comfort zone. It's not the task itself that feels daunting, It's the uncertainty that comes with doing something unfamiliar. Whether it's starting a new project or tackling a difficult conversation, the mind craves the known, the easy, the comfortable. But comfort zones, no matter how safe they feel, are not where growth happens. The longer you linger in the space where nothing challenges you, the more difficult it becomes to step out. You delay action because it feels safer to stay where you are, even though staying still is the greatest risk of all. Procrastination wears many masks, and one of its clever disguises is perfectionism. When you tell yourself that you're waiting until everything is just right before you begin, what you're really doing is avoiding the discomfort of starting. Perfectionism isn't a sign of high standards, it's a fear of being judged for falling short. It convinces you that it's better not to try than to risk imperfection. And in the end, perfectionism paralyzes you, leaving projects unfinished and potential untapped. The pursuit of flawless results often becomes the reason nothing gets done at all. Every moment you procrastinate adds up, compounding over time like a debt that grows with interest. It might feel like a small thing to delay action for an afternoon, a day, or even a week. But each delay creates a habit, and that habit becomes harder to break. What starts as a few moments of hesitation slowly turns into a pattern of avoidance that seeps into every area of your life. The time you lose isn't just gone, it becomes a permanent barrier between you and your goals. Every hour wasted in procrastination is time that could have been spent moving forward, learning, or creating something meaningful. The stress that builds from unfinished tasks grows quietly but steadily. At first, it feels like a minor weight, an item on your to-do list that you'll get to later. But as the list grows, so does the pressure. Unfinished tasks accumulate in your mind, creating a background noise that drains your energy and leaves you feeling overwhelmed. The effort required to complete those tasks becomes smaller than the stress they cause, yet you delay them anyway. Procrastination doesn't just delay progress, it creates emotional burdens that follow you everywhere, casting a shadow over moments that should feel light and free. Over time, procrastination erodes your self-discipline, making it harder to trust yourself. Every time you tell yourself you'll do something tomorrow but don't follow through, you chip away at your ability to commit. You begin to question your resolve, doubt your motivation, and lower your expectations. The more you procrastinate, the more it becomes a part of your identity, a person who waits, delays, and avoids. Self-discipline isn't just about completing tasks, it's about keeping promises to yourself. And when procrastination takes hold, it teaches you to break those promises over and over again. No one is coming to save you from procrastination. There is no perfect moment, no magical solution, and no external force that will pull you out of the spiral. It's up to you to take the first step, even when you don't feel ready. The belief that someone or something will rescue you is just another excuse wrapped in false hope. You are the only one with the power to change your patterns, and that power lies in action, small, imperfect actions taken consistently. The longer you wait for motivation or the right circumstances, the more you delay the life you could be building right now. Procrastination thrives in silence, convincing you that putting things off is harmless. But with every task left undone, you are training your mind to accept inaction as the norm. It's not the missed deadlines or incomplete projects that cause the most harm. It's the mindset of avoidance that slowly takes over. Procrastination becomes a habit, and habits are powerful forces. Once established, they are hard to break. If you wait too long, the habit of avoiding action can become stronger than your desire to succeed. The longer you delay, the more you begin to feel disconnected from your own potential. Tasks that once felt exciting now seem burdensome, and the goals that used to inspire you feel out of reach. Procrastination robs you not only of time, but also of your connection to what matters most. It creates a distance between who you are and who you want to become. The energy required to bridge that gap grows with every delay, making it harder to find your way back to the path you were meant to follow. One of the most dangerous lies procrastination tells is that you have plenty of time. It whispers that tomorrow is just as good as today, that waiting won't make a difference. But time is not on your side. It slips away quietly, and before you know it, opportunities have passed and doors have closed. Life moves forward, whether you're ready or not, and the moments you waste today are moments you will never get back. The cost of procrastination is not just unfinished tasks, it's lost opportunities, diminished growth, and a future that slips further from your grasp. The fear of starting can feel overwhelming, but the fear of staying the same should be even greater. Growth requires effort, discomfort, and the willingness to face uncertainty. Procrastination may offer temporary relief, but it exacts a long-term price. The relief you feel today becomes the regret you carry tomorrow. Every task you complete, no matter how small, is a step forward, and every step forward strengthens your resolve, builds your confidence, and brings you closer to the life you deserve. Action is the antidote to procrastination, and the only way to break free is to begin. There is no secret formula, no shortcut, and no easy way around it. Progress is made one choice at a time, one task at a time, one day at a time. You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to feel ready. You just need to start. The path forward is built by doing the work, even when it's hard, even when it's messy, and even when you'd rather wait. Every task completed is a small victory, and every victory builds momentum. Momentum is a powerful force. It creates a sense of progress that fuels your desire to keep going. The more you act, the easier it becomes to act again. Action creates confidence, and confidence creates change. Each moment of effort is an investment in your future, a step toward the person you are meant to be. Procrastination doesn't need to define you. It is a habit, not a destiny, and habits can be changed with consistent effort. The first step is always the hardest, but once taken, it sets everything else in motion. You are not bound by your past choices. You have the power to choose differently, to act differently, and to create a new pattern of behavior. The only thing standing between you and the future you want is the choice to begin. You don't need to wait for motivation. It may never come. What you need is discipline, the kind of discipline that is built through action. Each time you act, you strengthen your resolve, and each time you follow through, you build trust in yourself. That trust is the foundation of everything you will accomplish. It's what allows you to set goals and believe that you can achieve them. It's what gives you the courage to try, even when success isn't guaranteed. The fight against procrastination is not won in a single day. It's a battle fought every time you choose to act when it's easier to wait. Every time you confront your fears, every time you step out of your comfort zone, and every time you follow through on a task you wanted to avoid, you are winning. And with every victory, you are building a future that aligns with your deepest values and highest potential. Procrastination robs you of time, but avoiding responsibility steals something even greater: your sense of control over your own life. It doesn't just delay tasks. It denies you the chance to grow, build trust in yourself, and create the future you want. The weight of undone tasks can be heavy, but the weight of dodged responsibilities is even harder to carry. It follows you, shaping your reputation, your relationships, and the way you see yourself. While procrastination eats away at moments, avoiding responsibility eats away at who you are. Excuses offer short-term relief, but they quietly create long-term damage. Every time you make an excuse, You are convincing yourself that the problem lies somewhere else, outside your control. This illusion may feel comforting in the moment, but it only leaves you weaker. Over time, those small excuses accumulate, carving deep ruts in your mind where accountability no longer feels necessary. You may not notice the damage right away, but the cracks spread. Excuses are like band-aids slapped on broken bones. They hide the fracture for a moment, but the break remains and worsens with every missed opportunity to take ownership. Avoiding responsibility traps you in the same place. It's the invisible wall that keeps you stuck, no matter how much you wish for change. Growth happens through action, and action requires responsibility. Every step forward demands that you take ownership of your choices, even when things go wrong. When you dodge that responsibility, you deny yourself the chance to evolve. Your mind begins to accept stagnation as normal, and comfort becomes your prison. Growth isn't possible for those who avoid what life requires of them. Avoidance turns into a cycle, one where dreams stay dreams and progress is permanently out of reach. People notice more than you think. Every time you dodge responsibility, it sends a silent message to those around you. Your actions, or lack thereof, create patterns that others learn to expect. At first, it might seem like people give you the benefit of the doubt, but over time, your behavior builds a reputation. The world responds to consistency, and when that consistency is rooted in avoidance, it erodes trust. Others begin to rely on you less, doubt your word, and stop counting on you. The damage done to your reputation becomes an invisible barrier that closes doors you may never know were open. Blaming others feels like a way out, but it's really a dead end. When you shift responsibility away from yourself, you also shift away from personal growth. Every time you point a finger elsewhere, you rob yourself of a lesson that could have strengthened you. Growth comes from learning where you went wrong and adjusting course. Blame may feel satisfying in the moment, but it's an illusion. It creates the false sense that the problem lies beyond your control, leaving you powerless to change it. The truth is, growth only happens when you turn inward, confront your role, and take action to improve. Life has a way of forcing accountability, whether you embrace it or not. Responsibility is not something you can dodge forever. It will catch up with you, and the longer you avoid it, the harder it hits. There will always be moments when life demands that you answer for your choices, whether in your career, relationships, or personal goals. Those who have practiced taking responsibility meet these moments with confidence. But those who have spent their lives dodging accountability will find themselves unprepared, overwhelmed, and stuck. The burden becomes heavier the longer you wait to carry it. When you avoid responsibility, you teach yourself helplessness. It's a silent lesson that creeps into every corner of your life. The more you refuse to own your actions, the less capable you feel of managing your future. It becomes easy to believe that life is something that happens to you, not something you shape through your decisions. This helpless mindset takes root, shrinking your sense of control and fueling a cycle of avoidance. What starts as a small choice to dodge responsibility grows into a belief that you have no power at all. The habit of avoiding responsibility doesn't just harm you, it affects the people around you. Others may start to shoulder the burdens you refuse to carry, leading to strained relationships and growing resentment. Whether it's a colleague at work, a friend, or a family member, those closest to you feel the weight of your avoidance. Responsibility is not only personal, it is shared. When you refuse to carry your part, others are forced to pick it up, and their patience wears thin over time. The connections you value may weaken, not because of what you do, but because of what you refuse to do. Excuses might feel like a shield, but they are really walls that separate you from others. The more you use them, the harder it becomes to form meaningful connections. People respect honesty, not perfection. They don't need you to be flawless, but they need to know you're accountable. Taking responsibility builds trust, both in yourself and in others. When you own your actions, you show that you are reliable, even when things go wrong. This reliability strengthens relationships and opens doors to opportunities that only trust can create. Dodging responsibility steals your confidence. Each time you refuse to own your actions, you reinforce the belief that you are not capable of handling life's challenges. Confidence isn't built through comfort. It's built by facing difficult moments head-on and learning from them. When you avoid responsibility, you deny yourself these learning experiences. Over time, this avoidance chips away at your sense of competence. What could have been a moment of growth becomes a missed opportunity, leaving you with doubt instead of self-assurance. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Accountability will knock on your door whether you invite it or not. Responsibilities increase with time, not decrease, and the sooner you learn to embrace them, the better prepared you'll be. Every moment spent avoiding what must be done only leaves you less equipped to handle what's next. The longer you wait, the more difficult it becomes to step up. Responsibility builds on itself. The more you carry it, the stronger you become. But the opposite is also true. The more you avoid it, the weaker you grow. Ownership of your actions is a gateway to freedom. It may seem counterintuitive, but responsibility is not a burden. It's a key that unlocks control over your life. When you take responsibility, you reclaim the power to shape your future. It is through responsibility that you learn, grow, and become resilient. The weight of responsibility feels lighter over time because with each step you take, you build the strength to carry more. Those who avoid responsibility remain weighed down, not by the load they carry, but by the fear of ever lifting it. Avoidance turns small challenges into large obstacles. The things you refuse to handle today don't disappear, they grow. And by the time you are forced to confront them, they have become far more complicated. Whether it's a conversation, a task, or a decision, what you avoid always comes back larger than before. Responsibility, on the other hand, shrinks problems through action. What could have been a mountain tomorrow becomes a manageable step today. Avoidance multiplies difficulties, but responsibility divides them. Personal growth thrives in accountability. When you take responsibility, you give yourself permission to fail and learn without shame. Growth isn't about getting everything right. It's about showing up and being accountable, even when things go wrong. Each time you take ownership, you expand your capacity to handle life's challenges. Responsibility becomes a habit, and with it comes a sense of calm and confidence. You learn that you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present and willing to act. There is no shortcut to freedom that avoids responsibility. True freedom comes from knowing that you can rely on yourself, no matter what life throws at you. It's the quiet strength that grows when you've built a foundation of accountability. Those who avoid responsibility may feel free for a moment, but that freedom is shallow and short-lived. The real freedom lies in knowing that you have the ability to meet life's demands head-on and shape your own future through the choices you make today. Responsibility is a compass that points you toward purpose. When you take ownership of your actions, you begin to see life through a different lens. You start to notice the impact of your choices and how they align with your values. Responsibility brings clarity. Each step forward becomes a deliberate one, and with every action, you grow closer to living with intention. It's through responsibility that you discover what truly matters and gain the focus to pursue it. Responsibility sets the foundation for success, but without the right mindset and habits, even the best intentions will falter. It's not enough to know what needs to be done if your actions are misaligned with your values and goals. This misalignment is often subtle. It slips into your routine as distractions, fear, and a focus on the wrong things. The most frustrating part is feeling like you're working hard, but still falling short. There's nothing more draining than chasing goals that seem just out of reach, no matter how much effort you pour into them. Achieving success requires more than action. It demands clarity, purpose, and a willingness to challenge your habits and beliefs. When you focus too much on outcomes, you lose sight of what matters, the actions that get you there. Goals become overwhelming when the only thing on your mind is the end result. Whether it's building a career, improving your health, or developing a skill, the outcome feels far away and out of your control. The more you fixate on the result, the more you disconnect from the daily efforts that truly matter. Success is built through consistent action, not by obsessing over where you want to end up. The outcome will follow if your actions align with your purpose. Fear of discomfort is a hidden force that quietly keeps you from progress. It convinces you that starting will be too hard, that stepping outside your routine will be painful, and that the safest path is the one with the least resistance. But discomfort is the birthplace of growth. Success requires you to lean into that discomfort and push through, even when every instinct tells you to turn back. Avoiding discomfort won't shield you from failure. It only ensures that you stay exactly where you are. The progress you crave lives on the other side of discomfort, waiting for you to make the first move. Goals lose their meaning when your actions don't align with your values. There's no satisfaction in achieving something that doesn't reflect who you are or what you stand for. Misaligned actions leave you feeling empty, even when you meet the goal on paper. Success isn't just about doing more. It's about doing the right things for the right reasons. When your actions reflect your values, every step forward feels purposeful, and every challenge becomes an opportunity to grow. It's not enough to move toward a goal. The direction you take matters just as much. External validation is a slippery trap. It feels good to be recognized, praised, and approved by others. But that kind of motivation is fleeting. When you rely on external validation, you hand over control of your happiness and success. You find yourself chasing approval instead of focusing on what truly matters to you. The problem is, external validation is never enough. It leaves you constantly searching for the next compliment or recognition, and with each passing moment, your sense of fulfillment slips further from your grasp. True success comes when your efforts align with internal values, not the fleeting opinions of others. Small progress often feels too insignificant to matter, but it is the only thing that ever leads to lasting change. The temptation to look for shortcuts can be overwhelming. You want results now, and the idea of slow daily improvement feels frustrating. But there are no shortcuts to meaningful success. The progress you avoid today becomes the progress you never make. Success is the sum of small efforts repeated consistently over time. Those small steps compound, creating momentum that builds toward your goals. Avoiding them in search of an easy way only ensures that you'll stay stuck. Negative self-talk is one of the most dangerous obstacles on the path to success. Every time you doubt your abilities, criticize your progress, or question your worth, you build walls between yourself and your goals. These thoughts are subtle but powerful. They shape your beliefs about what you're capable of. The mind believes what you tell it, and if you keep feeding it negativity, failure becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Success begins with believing that you are capable, even when the road is tough and the challenges are great. Positive self-talk isn't just motivation. It's the foundation of every achievement. Failure feels heavier when you can't detach emotionally from it. The sting of falling short can linger, making it hard to try again. But failure is only harmful if you allow it to define you. The ability to detach emotionally from setbacks is essential for long-term success. Failure is not a reflection of who you are, it's feedback on what didn't work. Emotional detachment allows you to learn from mistakes without being consumed by them. It gives you the clarity to adjust your strategy and move forward with renewed determination, instead of being stuck in frustration or regret. Distractions pull you away from the present moment, and with it, your ability to make meaningful progress. The mind is easily drawn to what's urgent rather than what's important. Notifications, emails, and the endless pull of social media create a constant battle for your attention. Success requires focus, undivided attention on the task at hand. Every moment spent distracted is a moment lost, and those lost moments add up quickly. Presence isn't just about being physically there, it's about fully engaging with the work you need to do. Success requires you to silence the noise and focus on what matters. Overplanning is a subtle form of procrastination. It feels productive to map out every detail, but planning without action is just another way to avoid starting. The more you plan, the more overwhelming the task becomes, and the harder it feels to take the first step. Plans should serve as guides, not barriers. Success doesn't come from having a perfect plan. It comes from acting, learning, and adjusting along the way. No amount of preparation can replace the value of doing. Overthinking and overplanning won't create progress. Only action will. The path to success isn't linear, and there will be setbacks along the way. What matters is how you respond when things don't go according to plan. The ability to adapt and persevere in the face of obstacles is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up. Each setback is an opportunity to learn and grow. Success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about learning how to fail better. The road will be messy, but the mess is where growth happens. Success requires consistency, not perfection. It's tempting to wait until conditions are ideal before you begin, but the perfect moment rarely comes. Progress is made in the imperfect moments, the ones where you show up even when you don't feel ready. Consistent effort, no matter how small, builds momentum over time. The key to achieving your goals is not in grand gestures, but in the quiet, persistent work that happens every day. Success isn't the result of doing everything perfectly, it's the result of showing up again and again, no matter what. Your goals should challenge you, but they should also excite you. If the pursuit of a goal feels more like a chore than an adventure, it's worth asking whether it aligns with your values. Goals that are disconnected from your passion drain your energy and motivation. Success requires you to pursue goals that inspire you, ones that feel worth the effort, even when the path is tough. Alignment between your goals and your passions fuels the persistence needed to overcome challenges. The pursuit of success requires sacrifice. There will be moments when you have to say no to things that bring immediate pleasure in favor of long-term growth. This sacrifice can feel difficult, but it's necessary. Success isn't just about what you gain, it's also about what you're willing to let go of. Every decision to stay focused, every moment spent working toward your goal, is an investment in your future. The rewards come, but only after the work has been done. Patience is an essential part of success. Goals worth achieving take time, and the progress you make may not always be visible right away. It's easy to get discouraged when results don't appear quickly, but patience allows you to stay the course. Success is built over time through steady effort, not through bursts of activity followed by frustration. Patience gives you the endurance to keep going, even when the path is unclear. It reminds you that the work you do today will bear fruit, even if you can't see it yet. The journey toward your goals will test you in ways you don't expect. There will be moments of doubt, frustration, and exhaustion. Success demands resilience, the ability to keep going when things get hard. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back from setbacks. It's about learning to carry the weight of challenges without breaking. It's about finding strength in adversity and using it to fuel your progress. Each challenge you overcome builds the resilience needed to face the next one. Success requires you to let go of control. Not everything will go according to plan, and not every outcome will be within your power. The key is to focus on what you can control: your actions, your effort, and your attitude. Success is not about controlling every outcome. It's about doing your best with what you have. Letting go of control allows you to move forward with clarity and peace, knowing that you have done everything within your power. The people you surround yourself with play a significant role in your success. Supportive relationships provide encouragement, accountability, and inspiration. But not everyone will understand your goals or support your efforts. Success requires you to be selective about who you allow into your inner circle. Surround yourself with those who challenge you to be better, who celebrate your victories, and who stand by you during setbacks. The right support system makes the journey toward success more achievable. Success isn't a destination, it's a process. The journey matters just as much as the outcome. The lessons learned, the skills developed, and the growth experienced along the way are all part of what makes success meaningful. It's not just about reaching a goal, it's about becoming the person you need to be to achieve it. Success demands facing challenges head-on, yet fear often stands in the way, casting shadows over what could be. Fear lurks in the background, whispering doubts, feeding hesitation, and making even small decisions feel monumental. It promises protection, but delivers regret. Left unchecked, fear builds invisible walls, keeping you from the life you are capable of living. The lessons you learn about fear are not just for today. They shape your ability to succeed tomorrow. The longer you give fear control, the more it erodes your confidence, limits your choices, and narrows your path forward. Fear strengthens each time you avoid it. The more you turn away, the larger it becomes in your mind. Avoidance fuels fear, like oxygen fuels a fire, and before long, even the thought of confronting it seems overwhelming. What once felt like a small concern grows into a full-blown obstacle, taking control of your decisions. The cycle of avoidance teaches your brain that fear is something to run from, not face, leaving you trapped by it. The only way to weaken fear is through action. Meeting it head-on, even in small ways, breaks its hold over time. The irony of fear is that it's often based on things that will never happen. The mind exaggerates danger, building worst-case scenarios that paralyze you. Fears feel real, even when there is no evidence to support them. The mind becomes trapped in what-if thinking, amplifying risks that are unlikely to materialize. Recognizing that most fears are illusions is the first step toward freedom. Every time you challenge a fear and discover it was exaggerated, you reclaim a piece of your power. With each experience, fear's voice grows quieter. Facing fear is the true path to building confidence. Avoiding it only keeps you in a cycle of hesitation and doubt. Confidence is not something you wait for, it's something you earn by doing the very things that scare you. The moment you step into fear, you realize it's not as powerful as it seemed. Each time you act despite fear, your belief in your ability to handle challenges grows. Confidence isn't built in the absence of fear, but through the decision to act while fear is present. Fear of failure is more crippling than failure itself. The thought of failing creates a weight far heavier than the experience of failure. When you let fear of failure guide your choices, you miss opportunities to learn, grow, and improve. The truth is, failure is not an end, it's part of the process. It teaches valuable lessons that success cannot. Failing hurts for a moment, But the pain of never trying lasts far longer. The real failure lies not in falling short, but in not trying at all. Opportunities slip away when fear holds you back. The regret of missed opportunities lingers, leaving you wondering what could have been. Fear convinces you that waiting is safer, that the timing isn't right, or that you're not ready. But life doesn't pause for fear. The chance you hesitate on today may not come again. Success favors those who act, even when the outcome is uncertain. Each opportunity missed due to fear is a step further from the life you want. The door that fear closes today may not open tomorrow. Fear distorts your view of risk, making small challenges feel like insurmountable threats. It clouds your judgment, leading you to avoid situations that carry far less danger than you believe. Fear magnifies risk, but the truth is, most risks are manageable. The mind becomes so focused on what could go wrong that it forgets to consider what could go right. Learning to accurately assess risk helps you move beyond fear. With clarity, you realize that most risks are worth taking and that the rewards far outweigh the discomfort. The fear of rejection is rooted in the desire for approval. Rejection stings because it challenges your sense of worth, but the need for approval is a trap. When you base your decisions on whether others will accept or validate you, you give away your power. Fear of rejection keeps you small, convincing you that staying silent or holding back is safer than being yourself. The truth is, rejection is a normal part of life. It's not a reflection of your value. The more you detach from the need for approval, the freer you become. Waiting for the right moment to confront fear only strengthens its grip. The longer you wait, the more difficult it becomes to act. Fear feeds on hesitation, and every delay makes it harder to step forward. Paralysis sets in, and what once felt like a manageable challenge turns into an overwhelming burden. The perfect moment to act rarely comes, and waiting only deepens the fear. The way out is through, acting even when fear is present, even when the timing isn't perfect, builds the courage needed to move forward. Overcoming fear isn't a single victory, it's a lifelong practice. Fear doesn't disappear after one act of courage. It will resurface in different forms and at unexpected times. Success lies in learning to meet fear each time it arises, treating it as a familiar challenge rather than an enemy. With practice, fear loses its power. You develop the ability to recognize it without letting it control you. Fear becomes something you work with, not against, a signal to move forward rather than retreat. Your future self depends on the choices you make today. The courage you build now becomes the foundation for the life you want. Every time you confront fear, you create a version of yourself that is stronger, braver, and more capable. The fears you avoid today will still be there tomorrow, waiting for you. But the fears you face now pave the way for freedom, growth, and success. Your future self will thank you for every act of courage, no matter how small, because those choices shape the person you become. Fear isn't something to eliminate, it's something to understand. It exists to protect you, but its voice is often louder than necessary. Learning to distinguish between fear that warns you of real danger and fear that holds you back is essential. Not every fear deserves your attention, and not every risk is worth avoiding. Success comes from knowing when to listen to fear and when to move through it. The ability to make that distinction grows with experience, giving you the clarity to act with confidence. The greatest freedom comes from realizing that fear cannot control you unless you allow it. Fear will always be part of life, but it doesn't have to dictate your choices. Each time you act despite fear, you weaken its hold. The freedom to pursue your goals, speak your truth, and live authentically lies on the other side of fear. It's not about erasing fear, but about living boldly in its presence. Fear loses power the moment you decide it will no longer define your path. Facing fear requires vulnerability. It demands that you step into uncertainty without guarantees. Vulnerability is not weakness, it's courage in its purest form. It means accepting that you may not succeed, that others may judge you, and that the outcome may be different from what you hoped. But vulnerability also brings strength. It connects you with others, builds trust, and opens doors to opportunities that only those willing to take risks can access. Fear challenges you to grow in ways comfort never will. It pushes you beyond what you thought was possible, revealing strengths you didn't know you had. Each time you confront fear, you expand your limits. Growth is uncomfortable, but it's also essential. The discomfort of fear is a sign that you are on the edge of something meaningful. The choice to step into that discomfort is the choice to grow. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in the presence of fear. Waiting for fear to fade will leave you waiting forever. Courage is built one step at a time, one choice at a time. It's saying yes to opportunities even when doubt lingers, and showing up even when fear tells you to stay away. Courage is not a grand act. It's a habit formed through small moments of bravery repeated every day. Fear tests your commitment to your goals. It asks how badly you want what you say you want. Success requires you to move forward even when fear stands in your way. The path won't always be clear, and fear will try to convince you to turn back. But every step you take in the direction of your goals proves that fear cannot stop you. Each act of courage brings you closer to the life you are building. Facing fear gives you control over your life. The more you confront what scares you, the more freedom you gain. Fear thrives on control. When you take that control back, fear has nowhere to go. You become the driver of your life, making choices based on values and purpose rather than fear. Each act of courage shifts the balance of power from fear to freedom. Success isn't reserved for those without fear. It's reserved for those willing to act despite it. Fear will always be part of the journey, but it doesn't have to hold you back. The life you want is within reach, waiting for you to step forward. Fear may whisper that you're not ready, but the truth is, you've been ready all along. The only thing left is to act. Fear tests your willingness to grow, but comfort is its closest ally. Fear pushes you to retreat, while comfort whispers that staying still is safer. Together, they create a cycle that keeps you from becoming who you are meant to be. The truth is, comfort zones feel secure, but they come at a cost. Growth requires more than avoiding fear. It demands that you actively step out of the spaces where things are easy. Every time you choose comfort over progress, you trade future growth for momentary relief. It feels safe in the short term, but the long-term impact is a life that never evolves. Growth only happens outside your comfort zone. The space where you feel in control and relaxed is not where progress lives. Comfort zones are like a familiar room you never leave, cozy but limiting. Growth begins when you step into the unknown, where challenges force you to develop new skills and expand your thinking. Staying comfortable may feel good, but it guarantees you'll remain the same. The potential you seek lies beyond what feels safe and familiar, waiting for you to step forward. Comfort has a way of breeding complacency. When things are easy, there's little reason to push yourself. The routine becomes a trap, and the drive to improve fades. What once felt like contentment turns into stagnation. Complacency feels harmless, but it's dangerous because it convinces you that you're fine where you are. It tricks you into believing that progress isn't necessary. But personal growth demands that you challenge yourself, even when you don't have to. Moving forward means making the choice to grow, even when comfort calls you to stay put. A stagnant life is not a fulfilling one. It may seem peaceful on the surface, but under that calm lies the frustration of untapped potential. Humans are wired to grow, learn, and evolve. Staying in the same place for too long creates a quiet restlessness, a feeling that something is missing, even if everything looks fine. Stagnation drains meaning from your life, leaving you wondering what could have been. Growth isn't just about achieving more, it's about becoming more, exploring new parts of yourself, and discovering what you are capable of. The fear of change keeps many people locked in place. Change is uncomfortable, and it demands that you let go of what you know in favor of something uncertain. Fear whispers that change might bring failure or regret. But the greater truth is this: avoiding change only ensures that life moves on without you. Change is inevitable, and the longer you resist it, the harder it becomes. Embracing change is the only way to stay in control of your growth. Each change, no matter how small, opens new doors that wouldn't have appeared otherwise. What feels comfortable today may become unbearable tomorrow. Life shifts, and what once brought peace can start to feel like a cage. Comfort zones shrink over time, leaving less room for curiosity, excitement, and challenge. Staying where you are isn't as safe as it seems, because life will eventually demand growth, whether you are ready or not. What used to feel like comfort may turn into frustration as you outgrow the life you built around staying comfortable. Moving forward is the only way to avoid being trapped by what once felt easy. Expanding your comfort zone requires daily effort. Growth isn't something that happens in a single bold leap. It's a process built on small, consistent steps. Each day presents opportunities to stretch yourself in ways that feel uncomfortable. These moments accumulate, building momentum that pushes your limits outward. Expanding your comfort zone doesn't mean abandoning everything familiar. It means choosing to challenge yourself in small ways every day. With each effort, what once felt uncomfortable becomes familiar, and your capacity for growth increases. You will never feel ready to grow, and waiting for that feeling only ensures that you'll never begin. Readiness is a myth that keeps people stuck in their comfort zones, waiting for the perfect moment to act. The truth is, growth happens when you start before you feel ready. You become ready by taking action, not by waiting for the right time. Every meaningful change begins with a choice to move forward, even when doubt lingers. Growth isn't about being fully prepared. It's about starting anyway. Staying comfortable may feel like avoiding stress, but in reality, it only delays it. Challenges don't disappear when you ignore them. They pile up, waiting for you to face them. What feels easy today can turn into stress tomorrow if growth is avoided. Comfort zones offer temporary relief, but create long-term frustration. Growth, on the other hand, may feel difficult in the moment, but it leads to lasting peace. The discomfort of growth today is a small price to pay for the fulfillment it brings in the future. Growth demands that you risk failure. Comfort zones protect you from the possibility of falling short, but they also block you from success. Every meaningful achievement requires the risk of getting it wrong. Staying comfortable keeps you safe from failure, but it also keeps you safe from growth. The fear of failure shrinks as you learn to see it not as an ending, but as a lesson. Success isn't the absence of failure, it's the ability to fail and grow from the experience. Growth requires discomfort, but it also offers excitement. The thrill of discovering new strengths, developing new skills, and overcoming challenges brings a sense of purpose that comfort zones cannot provide. The more you push yourself beyond what is familiar, the more alive you feel. Growth infuses life with energy and momentum. Each step outside your comfort zone brings new experiences, connections, and opportunities. The excitement of growth outweighs the discomfort it requires. You cannot think your way into growth. Planning, preparing, and imagining success will not create progress. Growth happens through action, not thought. Comfort zones thrive on hesitation. The longer you think about stepping out, the harder it becomes to act. Overthinking creates fear where none existed, convincing you to stay where you are. The key to growth is action. Each step, no matter how small, builds momentum and quiets the doubts that try to hold you back. Comfort zones restrict your potential. Staying within what feels safe limits the range of experiences you can have and the skills you can develop. Growth expands your capacity to handle challenges and opens paths you didn't know existed. The more you stretch yourself, the more capable you become. What once felt impossible becomes manageable. Growth isn't just about reaching new goals. It's about becoming the kind of person who can face life with confidence, no matter what it brings. Comfort zones create the illusion of control. Staying where things are familiar gives a false sense of security, as if avoiding challenges will keep life predictable. But control is an illusion. Life will challenge you whether you are ready or not, and the only way to stay in control is to embrace growth. Expanding your comfort zone prepares you for the unexpected, giving you the tools to handle whatever comes your way. The more you grow, the more resilient you become. Growth teaches you to embrace uncertainty. Comfort zones are built on the need for certainty, but life rarely provides it. Waiting for guarantees keeps you from moving forward. Growth requires that you step into the unknown and trust yourself to handle whatever comes next. With each step into uncertainty, you build confidence. You learn that you don't need to know everything to succeed. You just need to be willing to act. Growth comes from letting go of certainty and choosing to move forward anyway. Every comfort zone has an expiration date. What feels good today won't serve you forever. As you grow, your needs, goals, and values evolve. Staying in the same place creates tension between who you are and who you are becoming. The only way to stay aligned with your evolving self is to grow along with it. Comfort zones are meant to be outgrown, not lived in. Growth ensures that your life reflects the person you are becoming, not the person you used to be. The most meaningful growth comes from doing things that scare you. Fear signals that you are on the edge of something important. It marks the boundaries of your comfort zone and invites you to step beyond them. Growth requires that you move toward fear, not away from it. Each time you act despite fear, you expand your comfort zone and build the courage to face bigger challenges. Fear loses its power when you treat it as a guide, not a barrier. Success requires that you continuously outgrow yourself. Each achievement creates a new comfort zone that can quickly become a trap if you stay in it too long. Growth demands that you keep pushing even when things are going well. The moment you stop challenging yourself, you begin to stagnate. Personal growth is a lifelong process of expanding your limits, learning new skills, and stepping into new roles. Success is not a destination, it's a journey of continuous growth. The comfort of the familiar is no match for the fulfillment of growth. Living within your comfort zone may feel easy, but it lacks depth. Growth brings meaning, purpose, and connection. It gives you the chance to discover what you are truly capable of and experience life to its fullest. Comfort zones promise safety, but deliver frustration. Growth, on the other hand, offers challenges, but leads to a life well lived. Growth reveals hard truths that not everyone is ready to face. As you move forward, reality often strikes harder than expected. Success isn't always guaranteed, and not everyone will stand by you. Challenges will arise, some unfair and beyond your control, but your response will determine whether you thrive or fall. Life requires not just action, but acceptance. the ability to confront what cannot be changed and still push forward. These truths may feel harsh, but embracing them is essential for building a future rooted in strength and clarity. The sooner you accept them, the more prepared you'll be for what lies ahead. Not everyone will support your growth, and that's a reality you must face. As you evolve, some people may feel threatened by your progress. Friends who once seemed supportive might pull away, and not everyone will understand your new path. Growth disrupts the status quo, and those around you may struggle with your change, clinging to the version of you they knew. Seeking approval from everyone will only slow you down. You have to move forward, even if that means walking alone for a while. The ones meant to stay will catch up. The rest are not part of your future. Hard work is essential, but it doesn't guarantee success. This is one of life's toughest realities to accept. You can put in your best effort, pour in countless hours, and still face setbacks. Luck, timing, and factors outside your control can influence outcomes. But without hard work, success becomes even more elusive. Hard work increases your chances, even if it doesn't guarantee the result you hoped for. It teaches you discipline, resilience, and persistence. Success isn't promised, but effort is the currency that buys opportunities. Without it, you have no chance at all. Change is inevitable, and resisting it only leads to suffering. Life will shift, with or without your consent. Trying to hold on to what was comfortable will only cause frustration. Everything around you is in constant motion, and your ability to adapt determines whether you grow or get left behind. Resisting change is like standing still in a moving river. It doesn't stop the current, it only makes the struggle harder. Acceptance isn't about surrendering to circumstances. It's about working with change, not against it. Growth begins the moment you stop fighting reality. Life isn't fair, and there's no way around that truth. Some people start with more, face fewer obstacles, or encounter luck at the right time. But fairness isn't within your control, your response is. Complaining about unfairness only drains energy you could use to move forward. The world isn't obligated to hand out equal opportunities, but it does respond to persistence. The sooner you accept that life is unfair, the sooner you can stop waiting for justice and start building your own success. What matters most isn't fairness. It's how you play the hand you've been dealt. Failure is not the end. It's part of the process. Every step forward carries the risk of falling short, but each failure brings valuable lessons that success can't teach. Failure sharpens your skills, builds resilience, and shows you where to adjust your course. It's not a sign of incompetence, it's evidence that you are trying. Avoiding failure means avoiding growth. Every setback is a lesson in disguise, waiting to push you closer to your goal. The only way to truly fail is to give up. Success requires the courage to fail, learn, and try again. Time waits for no one, and every moment you hesitate slips away for good. There are no second chances for time wasted. The clock doesn't care if you're ready, tired, or scared. It keeps moving. Waiting for the perfect moment is a trap that keeps you from starting. The truth is, there will never be a better time than now. The future you want begins with action today. Time moves forward, whether you act or not, and every day is an opportunity that won't come again. Start where you are, with what you have, before the chance is gone. Support is a gift, not a guarantee. As you pursue growth, you'll discover that some people prefer you stay the same because it's easier for them. Expecting everyone to support your journey only leads to disappointment. Growth can be lonely, but it's necessary. The absence of approval forces you to build inner strength and rely on yourself. Real supporters will show themselves through actions, not words, but you have to move forward even when they don't. True strength lies in walking your path, even if no one else follows. Effort doesn't always bring immediate rewards, and that's where many people falter. It's easy to feel discouraged when hard work doesn't pay off right away. But effort compounds over time, even if the results aren't visible yet. The process matters just as much as the outcome. Every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Success often comes to those who keep going, even when the payoff seems far away. The willingness to keep working without immediate results is what separates those who achieve from those who quit. Change brings discomfort, but it also brings growth. The life you want will not emerge from the safety of what's familiar. It requires you to leave behind old habits, routines, and beliefs. Change challenges your sense of stability, but it also opens doors to opportunities you wouldn't have seen otherwise. It's not change that creates suffering, it's the refusal to embrace it. Growth comes from stepping into the unknown, trusting that you'll learn as you go. The discomfort is temporary, but the growth is permanent. Fairness is a concept rooted in expectations, not reality. Waiting for life to be fair will leave you frustrated and stuck. Instead of focusing on what's missing or unfair, shift your attention to what you can control. Your actions, mindset, and perseverance shape your future more than fairness ever will. Life's challenges may not be evenly distributed, but your response determines whether they break you or build you. Accepting that life isn't fair frees you to focus on what matters: your effort, attitude, and resilience. Failure teaches lessons success cannot. When everything goes right, you don't learn how to handle setbacks, adapt, or persevere. Failure exposes your weaknesses, but it also highlights your strengths. Each failure gives you the chance to grow, improve, and try again with more insight. Success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about learning how to fail well. Those who fear failure avoid challenges, but those who embrace it learn to see failure as a necessary step toward achievement. Growth requires the courage to fail forward. Time is the most valuable resource you have, and how you use it determines your future. Every day is a blank canvas, but the paint dries quickly. Waiting, hesitating, or procrastinating only leaves you with less time to work with. The difference between success and regret often lies in how you manage your time. You can't buy more of it, but you can choose how to spend it. Prioritize action over perfection, and you'll find that each day becomes a step toward the future you want. Time may push you forward, but unresolved emotions will always pull you back. Ignoring your emotions doesn't make them disappear. It gives them quiet control over your thoughts, decisions, and actions. The more you suppress what you feel, the more power those feelings gain, shaping your behavior in ways you don't fully understand. Emotions left unchecked don't go away. They collect, layer by layer, until they show up uninvited, influencing every part of your life. Ignoring them isn't strength, it's self-sabotage. Facing them is the only way to grow, think clearly, and unlock your true potential. Suppressed emotions find ways to control you from the inside. When you avoid feeling sadness, frustration, or anger, those emotions don't vanish. They take root, quietly shaping your choices and reactions. They show up in unexpected moments, like irritability or anxiety, leaving you confused about why you feel off balance. Suppression tricks you into thinking you've handled your emotions when, in reality, you've only buried them. Over time, the pressure builds, leading to emotional outbursts or burnout. Suppression isn't a solution, it's a delay that makes emotions harder to manage later. Ignoring emotions halts personal growth. Growth requires understanding yourself, and emotions are part of that understanding. Each emotion carries a message, whether it's telling you that something needs to change, that a boundary has been crossed, or that you need rest. Avoiding these signals stunts your development. The discomfort of emotions is not the problem, it's part of the solution. Personal growth happens when you confront those feelings and learn from them. Denying emotions leaves you stuck, cycling through the same issues without resolution or progress. Emotional awareness improves your decisions. When you understand your emotions, you gain insight into what drives your choices. Awareness helps you pause before reacting, giving you the space to consider whether your feelings are guiding you towards something meaningful or pushing you toward a poor decision. Emotions are not the enemy, they are data. When you recognize them without judgment, you become better equipped to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. Decisions made with emotional clarity lead to better outcomes because they align with your true needs and values. Denying emotions creates internal conflict. Each time you ignore what you feel, you create a disconnect between your mind and your heart. This internal division drains energy, leaving you mentally exhausted and emotionally numb. When your emotions and actions are out of sync, it becomes harder to trust yourself. You may act one way while feeling another, leading to frustration, self-doubt, and confusion. Aligning with your emotions brings a sense of peace and authenticity. The conflict within you resolves only when you give your emotions the attention they need. Acknowledging emotions is not a sign of weakness, it's a form of wisdom. Strength lies in recognizing what you feel, understanding it, and choosing how to respond. Pretending emotions don't exist is a temporary solution that leads to long-term harm. True courage is found in facing your emotions head-on, even when they feel overwhelming. Acknowledging your feelings doesn't mean acting on them impulsively. It means giving them the space they deserve, learning from them, and deciding your next steps with clarity. Self-reflection is essential for processing emotions constructively. Reflecting on what you feel helps you understand why those emotions arise and what they are trying to tell you. It's not enough to notice emotions. You need to explore their roots. Self-reflection allows you to identify patterns, unmet needs, or unresolved experiences that trigger certain feelings. With this awareness, you can make intentional choices instead of reactive ones. Self-reflection transforms emotions from burdens into tools for personal insight and growth. Stoic detachment is often misunderstood as suppression, but it's about understanding and acceptance. Detachment doesn't mean ignoring emotions. It means not being controlled by them. Stoicism teaches that emotions are natural but temporary. You can feel anger without becoming consumed by it, and experience sadness without being defined by it. Detachment allows you to observe your emotions with clarity, recognizing them as passing states rather than permanent truths. This understanding gives you the freedom to choose your response rather than being dictated by feelings. Emotions provide important signals about your needs and boundaries. Ignoring them cuts you off from this vital feedback. When you feel anger, it might signal that a boundary has been crossed. When sadness lingers, it could indicate a need for rest or connection. Numbing these signals leaves you disconnected from yourself, unable to respond to what you need most. Listening to your emotions allows you to make adjustments in real time, ensuring that your actions align with your well-being and values. Resisting emotions doesn't prevent pain, it amplifies it. The more you resist what you feel, the stronger those emotions become. They demand to be felt and will find ways to surface, often at inconvenient times. The effort required to suppress emotions drains your energy and leaves you emotionally fatigued. Allowing yourself to feel, however uncomfortable, brings relief. Emotions flow through you like waves. If you let them rise and fall naturally, they pass more quickly. Resistance prolongs the struggle, but acceptance brings peace. Ignoring emotions leads to emotional numbness. When you avoid difficult feelings, you also dull your ability to experience joy, love, and connection. Emotions are interconnected. Numbing one dulls them all. You can't selectively suppress sadness without also muting happiness. Over time, life begins to feel flat, and relationships lose their depth. Allowing yourself to experience the full range of emotions keeps you connected to life's richness. Emotions, both good and bad, are part of what makes life meaningful. Understanding your emotions helps you build emotional resilience. Resilience isn't about avoiding hardship, it's about navigating it with grace. The more you practice acknowledging and processing your emotions, the stronger you become. Emotional resilience allows you to bounce back from setbacks without becoming stuck in negative feelings. It gives you the confidence to face challenges, knowing that you can handle whatever emotions arise. Resilience is not built by suppressing emotions, but by learning to engage with them in healthy ways. Emotions connect you to others. Ignoring your feelings creates distance, making it harder to relate to the people around you. Authentic relationships require emotional presence. When you acknowledge your own emotions, you become more empathetic toward others. This empathy fosters deeper connections and builds trust. Emotional awareness strengthens relationships by allowing you to communicate openly and listen with understanding. Ignoring emotions, on the other hand, leaves relationships superficial and disconnected. Emotions impact your physical health. Suppressed emotions can manifest as stress, fatigue, or physical illness. The mind and body are connected, and unresolved emotions place strain on your well-being. Stress from unprocessed emotions builds over time, weakening your immune system and increasing the risk of illness. Emotional awareness supports better health by reducing stress and promoting relaxation. Taking care of your emotions is part of taking care of your body. Engaging with your emotions leads to personal empowerment. The ability to understand and manage your feelings gives you control over your inner world. When you stop running from emotions, you reclaim your power. You learn that emotions don't have to dictate your actions. They can guide you toward thoughtful responses. Emotional empowerment means owning your feelings without letting them own you. It's about making decisions that align with both your emotions and your values. Emotional awareness enhances self-discipline. When you recognize your emotions, you can manage impulses more effectively. Self-discipline isn't about suppressing emotions, it's about understanding them and making intentional choices. Awareness helps you navigate moments of frustration, anger, or impatience without acting out. It gives you the clarity to stay aligned with your goals, even when emotions try to pull you off course. Emotional awareness is a skill that strengthens your ability to stay focused and committed. Ignoring emotions creates blind spots. Unacknowledged feelings influence your behavior in ways you don't realize, leading to patterns that hold you back. Emotional awareness removes these blind spots, giving you insight into your habits and motivations. When you understand the emotional roots of your actions, you can make conscious changes. Awareness breaks old patterns and opens the door to personal growth. Without it, you remain trapped in cycles you don't fully understand. Learning to sit with discomfort is essential for personal growth. Avoiding emotions may provide temporary relief, but it prevents long-term progress. Growth requires you to confront difficult feelings instead of running from them. The ability to sit with discomfort teaches patience, resilience, and acceptance. Each time you face your emotions, you become stronger and more capable. Discomfort is not the enemy. It's a necessary part of the journey toward becoming your best self. Emotions offer opportunities for self-discovery. Each feeling, whether joy or sorrow, holds insight into who you are and what matters to you. Ignoring emotions robs you of these moments of self-awareness. When you engage with your feelings, you learn more about your values, needs, and desires. Emotions are not obstacles. They are guides that lead you toward a deeper understanding of yourself. Facing emotions fosters emotional freedom. The more you engage with your feelings, the less control they have over you. Emotional freedom comes from knowing that you can handle whatever arises. It's not about avoiding emotions, but about learning to move through them with confidence. Freedom lies in the ability to feel without fear, to express without shame, and to live without emotional restraint. Emotional awareness allows you to better navigate relationships, but even then, some truths about human connection are hard to accept. Relationships are complex, fluid, and ever-changing, filled with moments of joy, tension, growth, and loss. Holding on to illusions or neglecting the effort required to maintain them only invites disappointment. You cannot control how others act, but you are responsible for your own boundaries and responses. Relationships have the power to shape who you become, and recognizing their true nature is essential for personal growth. The deeper you understand these truths, the better you can build connections that align with who you are becoming. Not everyone deserves your trust, and that's a truth that saves you from unnecessary heartbreak. Trust is a gift, not a given, and placing it in the wrong hands invites betrayal. It's important to assess whether someone has earned your trust through consistency, honesty, and respect. Trusting too easily can leave you vulnerable, while withholding it completely isolates you. Balance lies in discerning who has proven worthy of your trust and who has not. Guarding your trust does not mean building walls. It means offering it with care to those who value it. Relationships require effort. It's easy to fall into the trap of comfort, assuming that once a connection is formed, it will sustain itself. But without consistent attention and nurturing, relationships wither. Routine and familiarity are not enough to keep a bond alive. Growth within relationships requires work. Connection demands active listening, empathy, and shared experiences. When comfort replaces effort, relationships become stagnant, leading to misunderstandings and emotional distance. Connection thrives on effort, not convenience. Saying no is essential for healthy boundaries. Without boundaries, relationships become draining and imbalanced. Saying yes to everyone's requests at the expense of your well-being erodes trust in yourself. Boundaries protect your energy and help define the kind of relationships you want to cultivate. People may push back when you set limits, but that's part of the process. Boundaries are not walls to shut people out. They are guides for how you want to be treated. Healthy relationships respect boundaries, while unhealthy ones resist them. Emotional dependence weakens relationships by creating a one-sided dynamic. When your sense of worth depends on someone else's approval or presence, it places an unfair burden on the relationship. Emotional dependence turns connection into need, making you cling to the relationship out of fear rather than love. Healthy relationships are built on mutual support, not reliance. They allow both people to grow independently while maintaining a strong bond. True connection doesn't require you to lose yourself. It encourages you to become more of who you are. People change, and so will your relationships. Growth and change are inevitable, and expecting relationships to stay the same leads to frustration. As you grow, your needs, values, and priorities evolve, and the same is true for others. Relationships that don't adapt to these changes become strained. It's important to recognize when a connection is evolving or when it has run its course. Accepting change within relationships allows them to grow or end with grace rather than resentment. Holding on too tightly to what was only prevents you from embracing what is. You cannot control others, only your reactions. Trying to change or manipulate someone else's behavior creates tension and breeds resentment. People will act according to their own values and priorities, regardless of what you want. The key to healthy relationships lies in managing your response to others, not in controlling them. You have the power to choose how much influence their behavior has on you. Shifting your focus from control to acceptance frees you from frustration and helps you engage with others from a place of understanding rather than force. Some relationships must end for personal growth. Not every connection is meant to last forever, and holding on to toxic or stagnant relationships prevents you from moving forward. Letting go can be difficult, but it opens space for new, healthier connections. Growth sometimes requires saying goodbye to relationships that no longer align with your values or well-being. Ending a relationship isn't a failure. It's an act of self-care and courage. Every ending creates room for new beginnings and the opportunity to connect with people who support your growth. Meaningful relationships are built, not found. The idea of instant, effortless connection is a fantasy that leads to disappointment. Real relationships take time, patience, and mutual effort. They grow through shared experiences, open communication, and moments of vulnerability. Waiting for the perfect relationship to appear is a form of avoidance. Meaningful connections come from the work you invest, not from chance encounters. Building strong relationships requires intentionality, trust, and the willingness to show up, even when it's uncomfortable. Trust is earned, not given freely. When trust is broken, it takes time and effort to rebuild, and not everyone is willing to do that work. Relationships cannot survive without trust, but blindly offering it to people who haven't earned it leads to betrayal. Trust builds slowly through consistent actions, honesty, and respect. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up authentically and doing your best. Trust makes relationships stronger, but it must be nurtured to remain intact. Effort is what keeps relationships from falling into disconnection. Small, consistent actions matter more than grand gestures. A kind word, a listening ear, or a thoughtful act builds connection over time. Relationships need regular attention to thrive. Neglect leads to distance, and distance leads to disconnection. Waiting for someone else to make the first move only delays the effort needed to maintain the bond. Relationships are partnerships, and both people must contribute to keep them alive. Boundaries protect relationships from becoming overwhelming. Without boundaries, resentment builds as one person's needs are consistently prioritized over the others. Saying no when necessary isn't selfish, it's respectful to both parties. Boundaries clarify expectations and prevent misunderstandings. They create space for healthy interaction and allow relationships to grow without draining your emotional resources. A relationship without boundaries is a relationship without respect. Independence strengthens relationships. Emotional dependence creates imbalance and places too much weight on the connection. Healthy relationships encourage both individuals to maintain their own lives, interests, and goals. Independence allows each person to grow, bringing more to the relationship rather than taking from it. Being emotionally secure within yourself creates space for deeper, more meaningful connection with others. Strong relationships are built on mutual independence, not reliance. Change is inevitable, and relationships must evolve to survive. The connections that endure are the ones willing to adapt to shifting circumstances. Clinging to the past prevents relationships from growing in the present. Embracing change allows you to navigate transitions with grace, whether that means deepening the bond or letting go. Change doesn't mean the end, it means a new chapter. The willingness to grow together or apart is what defines meaningful relationships. Acceptance is key to relationship harmony. You cannot force someone to change or act in a way that aligns with your expectations. The only thing within your control is how you respond. Acceptance doesn't mean agreeing with everything. It means understanding that others are free to make their own choices. Focusing on what you can control, your reactions, boundaries, and behavior, brings peace to your relationships. Acceptance frees you from the frustration of trying to control others and allows you to engage with them authentically. Letting go of certain relationships is an act of self-love. Not every connection serves your growth, and holding on out of habit or guilt only creates frustration. Some relationships come into your life for a season, and their purpose is complete when that season ends. Recognizing when it's time to let go isn't a sign of failure. It's a step toward personal freedom. Releasing what no longer aligns with your values creates space for new connections that do. Building meaningful relationships requires vulnerability. True connection happens when both people are willing to be seen, flaws and all. Vulnerability allows for deeper understanding and trust. It's not about being perfect, it's about being honest. Relationships that thrive are those where both people feel safe to express themselves without fear of judgment. Vulnerability builds intimacy and strengthens bonds over time. Trust is fragile, and once broken, it takes effort to repair. Forgiveness may be part of the process, but rebuilding trust requires time, consistency, and honesty. Not every relationship survives a breach of trust, and that's okay. Those that do emerge stronger because both parties commit to doing the necessary work. Rebuilding trust is a choice, not an obligation, and it requires both people to show up fully. Effort in relationships is a two-way street. One person cannot carry the entire weight of the connection. Balanced relationships require both people to invest time, energy, and care. When effort is one-sided, resentment grows and the bond weakens. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual support, where both people actively contribute to maintaining the connection. Effort builds trust, fosters understanding, and keeps relationships strong. Relationships require effort, but so does taking care of yourself. And nothing impacts your relationships, goals, and future more than your health. Neglecting your well-being doesn't just affect your body, it affects everything: your thoughts, emotions, productivity, and ability to show up for others. Success, no matter how grand, loses meaning when your health deteriorates. Poor choices today create invisible costs that show up later, often when it's too late to reverse the damage. Facing the truth about how your health shapes your life isn't always easy, but ignoring it will only cost you more in the long run. Poor health slowly erodes your mental clarity. The connection between your body and mind is undeniable. What affects one influences the other. When you neglect sleep, nutrition, or physical activity, mental fog creeps in, making it harder to focus, solve problems, or think creatively. Even small lapses in health take a toll, leaving you mentally drained and less capable of making good decisions. Your brain, like any muscle, needs the right care to function at its best. Clear thinking requires more than mental effort. It demands a healthy body as its foundation. Energy is the driving force behind everything you do. When your energy is low, even simple tasks feel overwhelming and your motivation dwindles. Health habits fuel your energy, giving you the stamina to meet life's challenges head-on. Without consistent energy, your goals become harder to reach, relationships suffer, and burnout becomes inevitable. Energy isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional too. What you eat, how much you move, and the rest you give yourself all impact your ability to stay energized throughout the day. Small health habits today build resilience for the future. It's easy to dismiss minor lifestyle changes, thinking they won't make much difference. But small habits, like drinking water, getting regular exercise, or taking time to rest, add up over time. These choices act as deposits into your long-term well-being. Skipping them may not show immediate consequences, but over months and years, the absence of healthy habits compounds into bigger problems. Prevention through small, intentional actions today saves you from major setbacks later. Ignoring your health leads to irreversible damage. The human body is remarkably adaptable, but it has limits. Years of neglect, whether through poor diet, lack of sleep, or unmanaged stress, take a toll that can't always be undone. Health is cumulative, and the damage builds quietly until it manifests in ways you didn't expect. The earlier you take care of yourself, the better your chances of avoiding long-term health problems. While the body can heal, some opportunities for recovery fade if neglected too long. No amount of success can replace health once it's lost. Achievements lose their shine when they come at the expense of your well-being. Success becomes hollow if you can't enjoy it because of chronic fatigue, illness, or stress. Health isn't something you sacrifice to reach your goals. It's the foundation that makes those goals meaningful. A life filled with accomplishments means little if you're too unwell to appreciate it. True success lies in balancing achievement with well-being, ensuring that you have the energy and vitality to enjoy what you've worked for. Neglecting sleep creates a ripple effect across every part of your life. Poor sleep drains your mental clarity, weakens your immune system, and affects your mood, making it harder to function throughout the day. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's essential for health. Rest is where recovery happens, allowing your brain and body to recharge. When sleep is sacrificed, every other area of your life suffers. Productivity decreases, stress increases, and your ability to engage meaningfully with others fades. Your health habits affect not only how long you live, but how well you live. Longevity means little without quality of life. Poor health diminishes your ability to enjoy everyday activities, turning simple pleasures into burdens. Staying active, eating well, and managing stress aren't just about avoiding illness. They ensure that you live with vitality and joy. Taking care of yourself allows you to participate fully in life, from engaging with loved ones to pursuing hobbies and passions. Stress, if unmanaged, silently undermines your well-being. Chronic stress disrupts your body's systems, weakening immunity, increasing inflammation, and affecting your mental state. While stress is inevitable, managing it is within your control. Small practices like mindfulness, exercise, or time in nature reduce the impact of stress, keeping your body and mind balanced. Ignoring stress doesn't make it disappear. It compounds over time, leaving you physically and emotionally exhausted. Managing stress is not an indulgence, it's a necessary part of maintaining health. Nutrition plays a crucial role in mental and physical health. What you eat fuels your body and mind, impacting everything from energy levels to emotional stability. Poor nutrition leaves you vulnerable to fatigue, irritability, and long-term health issues. Small, intentional changes in your diet, like eating more whole foods and staying hydrated, create a solid foundation for health. Nutrition is more than sustenance. It's an investment in your well-being that pays dividends over time. Physical movement isn't just about fitness. It's essential for emotional and mental balance. Exercise boosts endorphins, improves mood, and reduces stress, helping you stay centered throughout the day. A sedentary lifestyle, on the other hand, leads to stiffness, fatigue, and emotional stagnation. Regular movement keeps your body strong and your mind sharp. You don't need intense workouts to benefit. Small, consistent activity is enough to create positive changes. Moving your body is a form of self-care that supports every area of your life. Health is a daily choice. Each decision, what you eat, how much you sleep, whether you move, either supports or undermines your well-being. Consistent choices build momentum toward better health, while neglect compounds over time. You don't need to overhaul your lifestyle overnight. Small, mindful actions, taken daily, are enough to create meaningful change. Every healthy choice is a step toward a future where you have the strength and vitality to pursue what matters most. Health impacts relationships in ways you may not notice. When you feel well, you engage more deeply, listen more attentively, and connect more meaningfully. Poor health limits your ability to show up fully for those you care about, creating emotional distance and strain. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's essential for building strong, healthy relationships. When you prioritize your well-being, you have more to offer others, enriching your connections rather than draining them. Managing your health teaches discipline and self-respect. Health habits require consistency, patience, and effort, qualities that translate into other areas of life. The act of caring for yourself reinforces your self-worth, reminding you that your well-being matters. Discipline in health creates a ripple effect, strengthening your ability to set boundaries, pursue goals, and stay committed to what's important. Taking care of yourself isn't just about feeling good. It's about building the discipline needed for long-term success. Health isn't something you can outsource. No one else can make healthy choices for you, and no amount of external success will compensate for poor self-care. The responsibility for your well-being rests with you. Waiting for a wake-up call, whether from illness or burnout, is a dangerous gamble. The earlier you take ownership of your health, the better prepared you'll be to handle life's challenges. Health is a personal commitment, and every choice matters. Your relationship with yourself starts with how you treat your body. Neglecting health creates a disconnect between mind and body, eroding trust in yourself. Taking care of your health builds self-trust, reinforcing the belief that you are worthy of care and attention. When you honor your body's needs, you cultivate a deeper sense of self-respect and confidence. Health isn't just about physical well-being, it's a reflection of how much you value yourself. Caring for your health sets the foundation, but success brings challenges that demand even more from you. Many chase success without fully understanding what it requires or the difficulties that come with it. The path is not straightforward. It's filled with unexpected obstacles, sacrifices, and loneliness. Success isn't just about achieving goals. It's about learning to thrive through the discomfort, setbacks, and scrutiny that come with progress. These lessons are often avoided because they're uncomfortable, but embracing them is what separates fleeting success from lasting fulfillment. The journey to true success requires more than ambition. It demands persistence, resilience, and inner strength. Success can be isolating. As you move forward, not everyone will stay by your side. Friends and even family may struggle to relate to your new challenges or feel threatened by your progress. Success changes your environment, and that change can create distance between you and others. You'll need to get comfortable with moments of solitude, learning to rely on your inner strength rather than external validation. True success requires that you be prepared to stand alone at times, knowing that your growth will attract the right people eventually. Hard work doesn't guarantee immediate results. The most challenging part of success is staying committed when the rewards aren't visible yet. You'll spend countless hours working toward goals that seem distant, wondering if your efforts are making a difference. Progress isn't always obvious. It accumulates slowly, beneath the surface. Many people give up too soon, thinking their efforts were in vain. But those who persevere understand that success comes in waves, often arriving long after the work is done. Patience is a skill you must develop along the way. Success demands sacrifices, often including comfort and convenience. You'll have to give up habits, routines, and even relationships that no longer serve your growth. Sacrifice isn't easy, but it's necessary. Progress requires letting go of the things that keep you stagnant, even when they feel comfortable. Success forces you out of your comfort zone repeatedly, pushing you toward new challenges. The trade-offs may seem difficult in the moment, but each sacrifice clears the way for something greater. Failure isn't a detour, it's part of the journey. Every setback you encounter teaches you something valuable, shaping your skills, mindset, and strategy. Success without failure is an illusion. The lessons learned through failure are what make achievements meaningful. Avoiding failure only delays progress. Embrace the fact that mistakes are inevitable and use them as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. The most successful people aren't those who avoid failure, but those who learn from it and keep moving forward. Criticism comes with success, and it often stings. As you achieve more, people will project their insecurities, doubts, and jealousy onto you. Some will question your methods, downplay your efforts, or criticize your choices. Staying grounded through criticism is essential. If you let external opinions dictate your path, you'll lose focus. True success requires the ability to filter out unnecessary noise while staying connected to your values and goals. The opinions of others can't define your worth. Only you can do that. Success isn't achieved through bursts of motivation. It demands consistent effort over time. Motivation may start the journey, but discipline sustains it. There will be days when excitement fades and the work feels monotonous. On those days, showing up and doing the work is what matters most. Consistency builds momentum, turning small efforts into significant progress. Success is the result of ordinary actions repeated consistently, even when motivation is low. The ability to stay committed through the ups and downs is what separates those who succeed from those who stop halfway. True success is not just about external achievements. It aligns with inner peace. Accomplishments lose meaning if they come at the cost of your well-being or values. Success that feels empty inside isn't real success. It's a distraction. Aligning your actions with your purpose and inner peace ensures that your achievements add value to your life. Success isn't just about reaching the top. It's about feeling fulfilled and content with the journey. Achievements are only worthwhile if they resonate with who you are at your core. Loneliness on the path to success teaches self-reliance. When the crowd thins, you learn to trust yourself and make decisions without constant reassurance. Being comfortable with solitude is a skill that strengthens your resolve and sharpens your focus. The ability to move forward, even when others don't understand or support your vision, becomes one of your greatest assets. Success requires that you develop this inner independence, knowing that the right connections will come when you stay true to your path. The gap between hard work and rewards is where most people give up. It's easy to start strong, but the real challenge lies in sustaining effort when results are slow. Success tests your ability to push through discouragement and doubt. The periods where nothing seems to be happening are often the most critical. These are the moments that determine whether you'll reach your goal or fall short. Those who succeed understand that results take time and keep going, even when progress feels invisible. Every sacrifice brings a lesson in discipline. The things you give up on the way to success, whether they are distractions, comforts, or toxic relationships, teach you to focus on what truly matters. Discipline grows with each intentional choice, strengthening your ability to stay aligned with your goals. Sacrifices are not losses, they are investments in your future. Success demands that you develop the ability to prioritize what's important over what's easy, knowing that temporary discomfort leads to long-term fulfillment. Failure builds resilience, and resilience builds success. Each time you rise after falling, you become stronger and more capable of handling future challenges. Failure strips away illusions and teaches you what works and what doesn't. It humbles you while sharpening your skills. The lessons gained from failure are irreplaceable. They build the foundation for sustainable success. Those who embrace failure as part of the process are the ones who ultimately achieve the most. Criticism teaches you to develop thick skin. Success invites opinions, some helpful, others not. Learning to distinguish between constructive feedback and unnecessary judgment is essential. Not all criticism is valid, and not every opinion deserves your attention. The ability to filter out negativity while taking in valuable insights strengthens your self-awareness. Success requires that you remain open to growth without letting criticism derail your progress. Grounding yourself in your values helps you stay balanced, even when the opinions of others fluctuate. Consistency transforms goals into achievements. Motivation is fleeting, but habits are lasting. The small, consistent actions you take daily build momentum over time, carrying you toward your goals. Success doesn't happen in sudden bursts. It unfolds through sustained effort. Developing habits that align with your goals ensures that you keep moving forward, even on days when motivation is absent. Success is not about extraordinary moments. It's about the discipline to show up every day and do the work. Aligning success with inner peace creates lasting fulfillment. Achievements without inner harmony feel hollow, leaving you chasing more in search of satisfaction. True success isn't found in titles, awards, or wealth. It's found in the contentment of living according to your values. When your goals reflect who you are and what matters most, success becomes a natural extension of your life. Achieving without sacrificing your well-being or principles creates a sense of completeness that external rewards alone cannot provide. Success aligned with inner peace requires clarity and truth, but denial obscures both. Denial keeps you in a false sense of security, shielding you from truths you aren't ready to face. It feels protective, but it delays healing and keeps you from reaching your full potential. The hardest part of breaking free from denial is admitting that you've been holding on to illusions. The longer you avoid reality, the more power it gains over you. True freedom begins with courage, the courage to face uncomfortable truths and release the stories you tell yourself to stay comfortable. Denial may feel safe, but acceptance is the only way to move forward. Denial acts as a defense mechanism, temporarily protecting you from emotional discomfort. It gives you space to process overwhelming feelings, but if left unchecked, it becomes a barrier to healing. Avoiding painful truths doesn't erase them, it only prolongs the suffering. Denial is a way of postponing the inevitable, facing reality. Healing starts when you acknowledge what you've avoided, allowing yourself to confront and work through the emotions that denial kept hidden. Ignoring reality doesn't change it, only acceptance does. No matter how long you avoid certain truths, they remain in the background, waiting to be addressed. Pretending things are different from what they are only drains your energy and keeps you in limbo. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means seeing things clearly and making choices based on truth, not illusion. Reality becomes easier to manage when you stop fighting it and start working with it. Denial blocks personal responsibility, leaving you powerless to change your circumstances. When you refuse to acknowledge certain truths, you relinquish your ability to take meaningful action. Avoiding responsibility creates a cycle of avoidance and frustration, trapping you in situations you could change if you were honest with yourself. Taking responsibility may feel uncomfortable, but it's also empowering. It puts the control back in your hands, allowing you to move from avoidance to action. Facing the truth is painful, but liberating. The discomfort of confronting reality is temporary, but the freedom that comes with it lasts. Denial creates mental and emotional clutter, clouding your thoughts and keeping you stuck in old patterns. Facing reality clears the way for growth, even though it may hurt at first. Truth sets you free because it gives you clarity. It shows you where you are, what needs to change, and what steps to take next. Living in truth, however challenging, brings peace. Self-awareness is the antidote to denial. Becoming aware of your thoughts, feelings, and patterns helps you identify where denial has taken root. Awareness allows you to catch yourself in moments of avoidance, giving you the opportunity to choose truth over comfort. Self-awareness is not about judging yourself. It's about observing with curiosity and honesty. The more aware you become, the less power denial has over you, and the easier it becomes to align your life with reality. Breaking free from denial requires courage and reflection. It takes bravery to confront truths you've avoided for so long. Reflection helps you uncover the reasons behind your denial, revealing fears, insecurities, or past experiences that need to be addressed. Denial often masks deeper emotional wounds, and reflection brings those wounds to light. Facing them is the first step toward healing. It's not an easy process, but it's necessary for growth and transformation. Denial creates a false sense of security, convincing you that avoiding the truth will keep you safe. But this safety is an illusion. Denial keeps you stuck in a place of inaction. It traps you in the same patterns, preventing you from making the changes needed to improve your life. True security comes from knowing that you can face reality and handle whatever comes your way. The strength you gain from confronting denial far outweighs the temporary comfort it provides. The longer you stay in denial, the harder it becomes to break free. Avoiding reality creates mental habits that reinforce avoidance. Over time, denial becomes second nature, making it more challenging to recognize and confront. The key to breaking free is to start small. Acknowledge one truth at a time, no matter how minor it seems. Each act of honesty builds momentum, making it easier to face larger truths over time. Progress begins with the first step toward truth. Denial keeps you disconnected from yourself. Avoiding uncomfortable truths separates you from your emotions, needs, and desires. This disconnection creates internal conflict, leaving you feeling lost or uncertain about what you truly want. Reconnecting with yourself requires honesty, acknowledging your feelings, even when they are difficult to face. The more in tune you become with your inner self, the clearer your path forward becomes. Denial fragments your sense of self. Truth brings it back together. Living in denial strains relationships. When you avoid truths about yourself, it affects how you interact with others. Denial creates distance, making it difficult to connect authentically. Others may sense that something is off, even if they can't pinpoint what it is. Honesty with yourself allows you to be more open and genuine with others, strengthening your relationships. Breaking free from denial not only benefits you, but also enhances the connections you share with those around you. Denial keeps you from learning valuable lessons. Every challenge and setback carries a lesson, but denial blinds you to these opportunities for growth. When you refuse to face reality, you miss the chance to learn and evolve. Breaking free from denial opens your eyes to the lessons hidden within difficult experiences. It allows you to grow from your struggles rather than be defined by them. The truth may be uncomfortable, but it's also a teacher. Confronting denial builds resilience. Each time you face a difficult truth, you become more equipped to handle future challenges. Resilience grows through the practice of honesty and acceptance. Denial weakens your ability to cope by keeping you unprepared for reality. Facing truth, even when it's hard, strengthens your inner resolve. Resilience is not built by avoiding discomfort. It's built by moving through it with courage and clarity. Denial leads to stagnation, while truth leads to growth. When you avoid reality, you remain stuck in the same patterns, unable to move forward. Growth requires that you confront what's holding you back, even when it feels uncomfortable. Truth clears the way for progress, showing you where changes need to be made. Living in denial keeps you in a loop of frustration, while truth opens the door to new possibilities. Growth begins where denial ends. Breaking free from denial allows you to reclaim your power. When you face reality, you take back control over your life. Denial gives your power away to fear, doubt, and avoidance. Truth puts the power back in your hands, allowing you to make choices that align with your values and goals. Taking ownership of your reality, no matter how challenging, is the first step toward creating the life you want. Denial clouds your vision, making it difficult to see things as they are. It distorts your perception, convincing you that things are better or worse than they actually are. Living in truth sharpens your awareness, helping you see situations clearly. With clarity, you can make informed decisions and take effective action. Denial may feel comforting in the moment, but it leaves you blind to opportunities and risks. Truth brings the clarity you need to navigate life with confidence. Facing reality is the ultimate act of self-love. Denial keeps you trapped in fear, but truth sets you free to pursue what's best for you. Accepting difficult truths allows you to make choices that honor your well-being and growth. Self-love is not about avoiding discomfort. It's about embracing the truth, no matter how hard it is to face. When you live in truth, you align with what serves your highest good. Denial may feel easier, but it keeps you from living fully. Truth requires practice. Breaking free from denial isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process of choosing honesty over avoidance. Each time you face a truth, you build the habit of honesty, making it easier to confront future challenges. The more you practice living in truth, the less appealing denial becomes. It takes time, patience, and courage, but each step toward truth brings you closer to freedom and fulfillment. Living in denial keeps you focused on what you wish were true, while truth aligns you with what is real. It's tempting to hold on to illusions, but they only delay progress. Truth, though uncomfortable, is the foundation for meaningful change. Accepting reality gives you the power to respond effectively, make informed decisions, and create the life you desire. The path to freedom lies in letting go of what you wish were true and embracing what is. Breaking free from denial transforms your relationship with fear. Denial is often rooted in fear of failure, rejection, or loss. Facing truth teaches you that fear isn't as powerful as it seems. Each time you confront a fear-based denial, you weaken its grip. Truth liberates you from the illusions that fear creates, giving you the confidence to face challenges head-on. Living in truth doesn't eliminate fear, but it teaches you how to move forward despite it. Living in truth brings clarity, but the habit of comparison clouds your vision. Comparing yourself to others shifts your focus from what matters, your own journey. It creates a cycle of dissatisfaction, convincing you that what others have is somehow better, making your own achievements feel small. This mindset drains joy and disrupts inner peace, leaving you chasing external standards that don't align with your values. Breaking free from this pattern requires shifting your attention inward, focusing on personal growth rather than outside appearances. The peace you seek comes not from matching others' success, but from appreciating the uniqueness of your own path. Comparison steals joy by convincing you that what you have is not enough. When you constantly measure yourself against others, achievements lose meaning and contentment becomes elusive. Even when you reach milestones, Comparison makes them feel insignificant because someone else seems to have done more. This mindset turns success into a moving target, always just out of reach. Joy comes from appreciating where you are, not from meeting someone else's standard. Reclaiming joy starts with valuing your own progress, however small it may seem. Everyone's path is unique, and comparing yours to others is a futile exercise. What works for one person may not work for another, and everyone's timing is different. Success unfolds differently for each individual, shaped by personal experiences, values, and challenges. Measuring yourself against someone else's timeline disregards the individuality of your journey. Embracing your unique path allows you to focus on progress that aligns with your values instead of being swayed by external markers of success. Constant comparison breeds envy and resentment. When you focus too much on what others have, it becomes easy to feel that life is unfair. Envy takes root when you believe someone else's success diminishes your own, and resentment follows when you think you deserve what they have. This emotional drain not only affects your well-being, but also strains relationships. Breaking this pattern requires shifting your focus from others to yourself, appreciating what you have, and recognizing that another person's success is not your failure. Social media amplifies the illusion of perfection, making it easier to fall into the comparison trap. People curate their lives online, sharing only the highlights and filtering out struggles. It's easy to forget that what you see on social media is not the full picture. It's a carefully selected version of reality. Comparing your real life to someone else's highlight reel creates unrealistic expectations and unnecessary pressure. The key to breaking free is to remember that social media presents illusions, not truths, and focusing on it distorts your view of reality. When you focus on personal growth instead of external benchmarks, you shift from comparison to empowerment. Growth happens at your own pace and aligns with your unique values and goals. External achievements may inspire, but they cannot define your worth. Comparing yourself to others distracts from your progress, leading to frustration and self-doubt. The only person you need to surpass is who you were yesterday. Focusing on personal growth brings a sense of fulfillment that no external validation can match. Comparison tricks you into believing that success is a limited resource. It convinces you that someone else's achievements reduce your chances of succeeding, as if life were a competition. But success is not scarce. It looks different for everyone, and there is room for all to thrive. Shifting your mindset from competition to collaboration allows you to celebrate others' achievements without feeling diminished. Recognizing that there is no one path to success liberates you from the pressure to keep up with others. Comparing yourself to others creates unnecessary stress. It shifts your focus from what you can control, your actions, decisions, and progress, to things outside your control. This constant stress drains your energy and leaves you feeling stuck, as if no matter how hard you try, you're always behind. Reducing stress starts with focusing inward, setting personal goals, and measuring progress based on your standards, not others. True peace comes from knowing that you are enough, just as you are. The habit of comparison prevents you from appreciating your progress. Each step forward is an accomplishment, but comparison makes it feel insignificant by shifting your focus to where others are. This mindset steals the satisfaction of growth, leaving you feeling like you are always falling short. Appreciating your own progress requires intentional reflection, acknowledging how far you've come and celebrating even the smallest victories. Progress is not about speed, it's about direction, and every step forward counts. Breaking the cycle of comparison requires self-awareness. The first step is recognizing when you are falling into the trap. catching yourself in moments of envy or self-doubt. Awareness allows you to pause, reflect, and redirect your thoughts toward gratitude and self-compassion. Developing self-awareness helps you identify the triggers that lead to comparison, whether it's social media, conversations, or personal insecurities, and take steps to manage them. The more aware you become, the easier it is to shift from comparison to appreciation. Comparison feeds insecurity, making you doubt your worth and potential. It convinces you that you are not enough and that you need to achieve more to feel valuable. This mindset creates a cycle of chasing external validation, hoping that the next achievement will bring the confidence you seek. But confidence doesn't come from external achievements. It comes from knowing and accepting yourself. Breaking free from comparison requires building self-worth from within, independent of how you measure up to others. Focusing on your own journey fosters contentment. Contentment comes not from having more, but from appreciating what you already have. Comparison pulls your attention away from what's good in your life, leaving you constantly dissatisfied. Practicing gratitude shifts your perspective, helping you see the value in your experiences and achievements. Contentment isn't about settling, it's about recognizing that your worth isn't tied to external standards. When you stop comparing, you create space for joy and fulfillment. Comparison creates distance in relationships. When you compare yourself to others, it's easy to fall into resentment or envy, making genuine connection difficult. Instead of celebrating others' successes, you may feel threatened by them, which creates tension and emotional distance. Shifting from comparison to admiration strengthens relationships, allowing you to support and learn from each other. Genuine connection thrives on mutual respect and encouragement, not competition. Breaking free from comparison fosters self-compassion. Instead of judging yourself harshly for not meeting someone else's standard, self-compassion allows you to acknowledge your efforts and challenges. It reminds you that everyone's journey is different and that your worth isn't determined by comparison. Self-compassion creates a space for growth, where mistakes are seen as part of the process rather than failures. Treating yourself with kindness makes it easier to focus on your progress without being distracted by others' achievements. The more you compare, the less authentic you become. Comparison tempts you to conform to others' standards, leading you away from your true self. It encourages you to pursue goals that don't align with your values, leaving you feeling unfulfilled even when you achieve them. Authenticity requires self-acceptance, knowing who you are and what matters to you. When you focus on being true to yourself, you free yourself from the need to compete or conform. Comparison narrows your perspective, making you focus only on what you lack. It blinds you to the abundance already present in your life. Shifting your perspective from scarcity to abundance helps you see opportunities rather than obstacles. Abundance mindset allows you to appreciate others' success without feeling threatened. It reminds you that life is not a zero-sum game and that there is more than enough success, happiness, and fulfillment to go around. Adopting an abundance mindset creates space for gratitude and peace. Breaking the cycle of comparison transforms your relationship with success. Success becomes personal, defined by your values and goals, rather than external benchmarks. You begin to see success as a journey rather than a destination, measured by the growth and fulfillment you experience along the way. Comparison traps you in a race you can't win. Focusing on your own definition of success brings clarity and satisfaction. True success lies in becoming the best version of yourself, not in outdoing others. Choosing personal growth over comparison empowers you. Growth is a lifelong process, unique to each individual. When you focus on your growth, you become more resilient, adaptable, and self-aware. Comparison, on the other hand, creates frustration and stagnation by distracting you from your progress. Growth happens at your own pace, on your terms. It's not about being better than others. It's about becoming better than you were yesterday. The freedom to grow without comparison brings lasting fulfillment. Comparison distracts you from the present moment. It pulls your attention toward what others are doing, leaving you disconnected from your own experiences. Presence allows you to engage fully with your life, appreciating each moment as it unfolds. Letting go of comparison brings you back to the present, where joy, peace, and connection are found. The present moment is where growth happens, and embracing it frees you from the need to measure your life against others. Breaking free from comparison brings inner peace. When you stop chasing external validation, you release the pressure to meet unrealistic standards. Peace comes from knowing that you are enough, just as you are. It's about trusting your path and appreciating the uniqueness of your journey. Inner peace allows you to engage with life from a place of contentment, no longer driven by the need to compare or compete. Peace is the ultimate freedom, and it begins when you let go of comparison. Letting go of comparison brings peace, but the pursuit of perfection replaces that peace with frustration. Perfection whispers promises of fulfillment, telling you that once everything is flawless, you will feel complete. Yet, no matter how close you get, it always moves just beyond reach. Perfectionism creates endless dissatisfaction, convincing you that nothing is ever good enough, not your work, your progress, or even yourself. The need for everything to be perfect keeps you stuck, afraid of mistakes, and always chasing an unattainable goal. What's needed isn't perfection, but progress. Growth comes from embracing flaws, learning from mistakes, and knowing that striving for excellence will always be enough. Perfection is an illusion that keeps progress just out of reach. No matter how much you achieve, perfectionism convinces you that you could do more, be better, or try harder. It creates a cycle of endless striving, leaving you exhausted and unsatisfied. Chasing perfection shifts your focus from what you've accomplished to what's still missing. It blinds you to progress, making even your best efforts feel inadequate. Progress, not perfection, is what matters. Each step forward, no matter how small, brings growth and fulfillment. The pursuit of perfection breeds dissatisfaction. It creates impossible standards that leave no room for rest, joy, or contentment. Even when you achieve something meaningful, perfectionism whispers that it's not enough. It tells you to try again, do more, or be better, robbing you of the satisfaction that comes with achievement. Perfectionism makes happiness conditional, always tied to the next goal, the next improvement. True contentment comes not from achieving perfection, but from appreciating the effort and progress along the way. Perfectionism often leads to procrastination, creating a fear of starting anything that might not turn out flawless. The desire for everything to be perfect stops you from taking action, leaving you stuck in planning or overthinking. Perfectionism tells you that if something can't be done perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. But waiting for perfection delays progress. Action, even imperfect action, is what moves you forward. Growth happens when you embrace the process, mistakes and all. Mistakes are valuable teachers, not signs of failure. Perfectionism makes you fear mistakes, seeing them as flaws that need to be avoided at all costs. But mistakes provide insights that perfection never can. They reveal areas for growth, sharpen your skills, and teach resilience. Every misstep offers a lesson that brings you closer to success. Avoiding mistakes only delays learning. Embracing them allows you to grow, adapt, and improve over time. Striving for excellence is more meaningful than chasing perfection. Excellence focuses on doing your best with what you have, knowing that mistakes and imperfections are part of the journey. It values effort over outcome and progress over perfection. Excellence leaves room for growth, learning, and enjoyment, while perfectionism creates pressure, fear, and frustration. Choosing excellence means understanding that your best effort today is enough and that each attempt brings you closer to where you want to be. Perfectionism robs you of joy by focusing on what's missing rather than what's present. It creates a mindset of scarcity, convincing you that something is always lacking. This endless pursuit of flawlessness leaves no space for joy, satisfaction, or appreciation. Joy comes not from achieving perfection, but from engaging fully with the process. It's found in the small victories, the lessons learned, and the connections made along the way. Choosing joy over perfection creates space for a richer, more meaningful experience. Chasing perfection drains your energy, leaving you exhausted. The pressure to meet impossible standards takes a toll, both mentally and physically. It makes every task feel heavier, every challenge more overwhelming. Perfectionism turns simple actions into daunting tasks, making it difficult to relax or feel at ease. Rest becomes elusive because perfectionism convinces you that there's always more to do. But energy is limited, and sustainability requires balance. Allowing yourself to rest, even when things are not perfect, preserves your energy and keeps you moving forward. Perfectionism creates a fear of being judged. It convinces you that unless everything is flawless, you will be criticized or rejected. This fear keeps you from sharing your work, expressing yourself, or trying new things. It limits your creativity and holds you back from opportunities. But judgment is inevitable, whether you strive for perfection or not. True freedom comes from embracing imperfection, knowing that your worth isn't tied to others' opinions. When you release the need for perfection, you open yourself to growth and connection. The pursuit of perfection disconnects you from others. It makes relationships feel transactional, focused on appearances rather than authenticity. Perfectionism tells you that you need to present yourself flawlessly to be accepted, creating distance and disconnection. True connection happens through vulnerability, not perfection. Sharing your flaws, struggles, and mistakes deepens relationships, building trust and understanding. Letting go of perfection allows you to show up fully, fostering meaningful connections with those around you. Perfectionism leads to burnout by making rest feel unearned. It convinces you that you must keep striving even when you are exhausted. This relentless pursuit leaves no room for recovery, making burnout inevitable. Rest is not a reward, it's a necessity. Taking time to recharge is essential for long-term success and well-being. Letting go of perfection allows you to recognize when you need rest and gives you permission to take it. Sustainable progress requires a balance of effort and rest. Chasing perfection keeps you stuck in a cycle of self-doubt. It convinces you that you are never good enough, no matter how much you achieve. This mindset erodes your confidence, making you hesitant to try new things or take risks. Self-doubt thrives in the presence of perfectionism, feeding on the fear of not measuring up. Building confidence requires embracing imperfection, knowing that growth happens through trial and error. Confidence comes not from perfection, but from knowing you are capable, flaws and all. Perfectionism limits creativity by placing constraints on your ideas. It tells you that only flawless outcomes are valuable, stifling experimentation and exploration. Creativity thrives in spaces where mistakes are allowed and imperfections are embraced. The most innovative ideas often arise from unexpected missteps. Letting go of perfection creates room for creativity to flourish. It encourages you to explore, experiment, and take risks without fear of failure. Creativity is not about getting things right. It's about expressing yourself fully. The pursuit of perfection creates unnecessary pressure, turning joy into stress. Tasks that should feel fulfilling become burdensome under the weight of perfectionism. This pressure drains the fun from activities, making even hobbies feel like obligations. Releasing the need for perfection restores joy to your actions. It allows you to engage with activities for the pleasure they bring, not just the outcome they produce. Joyful effort is more sustainable than pressure-driven perfection. Choosing progress over perfection builds resilience. Perfectionism makes setbacks feel like failures, but progress values them as part of the journey. Resilience grows through learning from mistakes, adapting to challenges, and continuing despite difficulties. Progress focuses on what can be improved, not what went wrong. Each step forward, even if small, strengthens your ability to persevere. Resilience is built through consistent effort, not flawless execution. Perfectionism isolates you, making you feel disconnected from yourself and others. It convinces you that you must appear flawless to be accepted, creating a barrier to authenticity. True connection happens when you allow yourself to be seen as you are, imperfections and all. Letting go of perfection brings you back to yourself, reminding you that you are enough just as you are. It also fosters deeper connections with others, who appreciate your authenticity more than your perfection. Chasing perfection wastes time by making you focus on unnecessary details. It convinces you that everything must be flawless before you can move forward, leading to endless revisions and second-guessing. This obsession with perfection delays progress and wastes valuable time. Choosing progress allows you to focus on what truly matters, prioritizing effort over appearance. Time spent chasing perfection is time lost. Progress, however imperfect, moves you forward. Perfectionism drains time and energy, but financial discipline demands both. The hard truth about money is that it shapes nearly every aspect of life, whether you acknowledge it or not. How you handle money today will determine whether your future is filled with peace or stress. Money, though powerful, cannot buy happiness, and chasing it without purpose leaves you empty. Understanding the deeper lessons about financial responsibility isn't just about earning more. It's about learning control, practicing discipline, and building habits that secure freedom. Without these, even the largest paycheck becomes a burden, not a blessing. Money alone will not bring happiness or security. Many people think that financial success will solve all their problems, but money is only a tool. It's not a guarantee for peace or fulfillment. A bigger income can ease financial burdens, but it won't fill emotional voids or create meaningful relationships. Happiness comes from how you use money, not how much you accumulate. The peace you seek comes from aligning your financial decisions with your values, not from constantly chasing more. Financial discipline demands sacrifices. Saying no to unnecessary expenses today means building freedom for tomorrow. Discipline is not about deprivation. It's about choosing long-term benefits over short-term indulgences. Every dollar you save or invest today builds toward a more secure future. Discipline requires resisting impulses and learning to prioritize needs over wants. It's not always easy, but the rewards of financial discipline far outweigh the sacrifices. Poor spending habits today create future stress. Small, careless purchases add up over time, creating financial strain when you least expect it. The habit of spending without planning can spiral into larger problems: credit card debt, missed payments, and financial insecurity. Breaking free from poor habits starts with awareness and intentional choices. Planning your spending ensures that you have enough for the essentials while also preparing for unexpected expenses. Financial stress is often the result of habits, not circumstances. Investing early offers long-term benefits that cannot be matched by saving alone. Time is the most valuable asset in building wealth, and starting early allows your investments to grow through compound interest. Even small investments, when given enough time, can grow into significant amounts. Waiting to invest until later means missing out on years of growth. The earlier you begin, the more options you have in the future. Investing is not just about money, it's about building opportunities. Avoiding debt builds freedom and peace of mind. Debt may offer temporary solutions, but it creates long-term limitations. Interest compounds over time, turning small debts into overwhelming burdens. Living debt-free allows you to make decisions based on your goals, not financial obligations. Avoiding unnecessary debt requires planning, patience, and sometimes uncomfortable choices. Freedom from debt provides peace that no possession or luxury can replace. It gives you the ability to pursue opportunities without fear of financial consequences. No one else will manage your money wisely. Taking responsibility is essential. Trusting others to make financial decisions for you invites risk and potential loss. While financial advice can be helpful, you are ultimately responsible for your choices. Learning to manage your money ensures that you remain in control of your future. Financial responsibility means understanding where your money goes, making informed decisions, and staying accountable to your goals. Waiting for someone else to handle your finances only delays your progress. Financial success is about control, not luck. While luck can play a role in certain opportunities, lasting financial success comes from intentional planning and consistent effort. Control means knowing where your money is going, setting goals, and following through. It's about creating habits that align with your financial priorities. Success isn't about sudden windfalls. It's built through small, consistent actions over time. Control puts your financial future in your hands, regardless of external circumstances. Living within your means is the foundation of financial stability. Spending more than you earn creates a cycle of debt and stress that is difficult to break. Living within your means requires intentional choices, prioritizing needs, budgeting for wants, and planning for savings. It's not about restriction, it's about freedom. When you live within your means, you gain control over your finances, avoid unnecessary debt, and create space for growth. Stability begins with knowing your limits and staying within them. Building an emergency fund protects you from unexpected setbacks. Life is unpredictable, and unexpected expenses are inevitable, whether it's a medical bill, car repair, or sudden job loss. Having savings set aside for emergencies provides peace of mind and prevents financial stress. An emergency fund acts as a safety net, allowing you to handle challenges without resorting to debt. Building this fund takes time, but every small contribution strengthens your financial security. Budgeting is a tool for freedom, not restriction. A budget gives you a clear view of your finances, showing where your money is going and where adjustments can be made. It allows you to prioritize spending, plan for the future, and avoid unnecessary debt. Budgeting empowers you to make intentional choices with your money. It's not about limiting enjoyment, it's about aligning your spending with your values and goals. A budget helps you take control, offering freedom through clarity. Delayed gratification leads to long-term success. Choosing to wait for something better rather than indulging in instant rewards builds discipline and strengthens your financial habits. Delayed gratification means sacrificing small pleasures today for greater benefits tomorrow. This mindset applies to saving, investing, and spending. Learning to wait ensures that your financial decisions align with your priorities and goals. It's not about denying yourself, it's about making intentional choices that serve your future self. Financial independence is built through habits, not income. Earning more money does not guarantee financial freedom if poor habits persist. Independence comes from living within your means, saving consistently, and avoiding debt. It's about having control over your money rather than being controlled by it. Financial independence allows you to make choices based on what matters most, rather than being tied to obligations. It's not about how much you earn, it's about how you manage what you have. Understanding the difference between wants and needs is essential. Financial discipline requires distinguishing between what is essential and what is optional. Needs are the foundation of stability, housing, food, transportation, while wants are the extras that add enjoyment. Managing your money wisely means prioritizing needs and budgeting for wants without jeopardizing your future. This distinction helps you make informed decisions and avoid unnecessary debt. Financial literacy is an ongoing process. Learning to manage money effectively takes time, effort, and practice. Financial literacy involves understanding budgeting, saving, investing, and debt management. It also requires staying informed about economic changes and financial trends. The more you learn, the better equipped you are to make decisions that align with your goals. Financial literacy is not a one-time achievement. It's a lifelong journey of growth and improvement. Consistency is key to building wealth. Wealth is not built overnight. It's the result of small, consistent actions over time. Saving regularly, investing consistently, and managing spending create a foundation for financial growth. Consistency turns habits into long-term success, allowing your efforts to compound over time. It's not about dramatic changes, it's about steady progress. Each consistent action brings you closer to your financial goals. Aligning your financial goals with your values brings fulfillment. Money is a tool, not a destination. Aligning your financial choices with what matters most to you ensures that your efforts have purpose. Whether it's saving for a home, investing in education, or giving to causes you care about, aligning your finances with your values creates meaning. Financial success is not just about accumulating wealth, it's about using it to live a life that reflects your values and priorities. Managing money requires self-discipline. It's easy to spend impulsively, but discipline ensures that your financial choices serve your long-term goals. Self-discipline means setting boundaries, creating budgets, and sticking to your plans, even when it's challenging. It requires saying no to unnecessary expenses and prioritizing what matters most. Discipline is not about restriction, it's about control. Each disciplined choice strengthens your financial foundation, building habits that lead to success. Managing money teaches control, but even the best financial habits mean nothing without understanding time. Time is the one resource you can't earn back, no matter how much wealth you accumulate. Every second that slips away is gone forever, leaving behind either progress or regret. Time is unforgiving. Whether used wisely or wasted, it continues to move forward. Real freedom comes from knowing how to use it well. Time doesn't wait for anyone, and the harsh truth is that the clock is always ticking. Learning to value your time now will shape everything about your future. Time is your most valuable resource because it's finite. Every day comes with the same 24 hours, but how you spend them determines the course of your life. No amount of money or success can buy more time, which makes every moment precious. Understanding the value of your time is essential. Each day is an opportunity that will never return, and how you use it either builds toward your goals or pulls you further away from them. Time is your most irreplaceable asset. The regret of wasted time cuts deeper than missed opportunities. When you reflect on your life, it's not the things you tried that cause the most pain. It's the things you never started. The moments lost to procrastination, distractions, or hesitation become heavy with regret. Wasting time creates an emotional burden that lingers. What hurts the most isn't failure. It's knowing that you didn't use your time when you had the chance. Regret grows in the space left by inaction. Being busy is not the same as being productive. Filling your days with endless tasks doesn't mean you are making meaningful progress. Productivity comes from doing the right things, not just doing more things. Prioritizing what matters ensures that your time is spent effectively, moving you closer to your goals. Busy work creates the illusion of progress, but leaves you feeling exhausted and empty. True productivity requires clarity and focus. It's about doing less, but doing it well. Tomorrow is never guaranteed, and waiting to act is the greatest risk you can take. The idea of later is comforting, but it's also deceptive. Opportunities slip away when you assume they'll always be there. Time doesn't pause while you wait for the perfect moment to begin. Procrastination robs you of the chance to grow, change, and achieve. Acting today, even if imperfectly, builds momentum. The only moment you truly have is now, and using it well shapes the future. Distractions drain your potential, taking more than just time. They steal focus and energy. The constant pull of notifications, social media, and trivial tasks divides your attention, leaving little room for meaningful work. Distractions fragment your time, making it harder to engage fully with what matters. Reclaiming your time requires setting boundaries and learning to say no to what doesn't serve your goals. The more intentional you are with your attention, the more powerful your time becomes. Time lost to distractions adds up quickly, leaving you with little to show for it. A few minutes here and there may not seem significant, but over days and weeks, those minutes become hours. Hours become days, and soon you wonder where the time went. Distractions don't just waste time, they create habits of avoidance. Breaking free from these habits requires awareness and discipline. Each moment matters, and how you use it determines the life you build. Procrastination is time theft in disguise. It convinces you that later is a safer option, that you'll feel more ready in the future. But time doesn't wait for readiness. It rewards action. Delaying important tasks doesn't make them easier. It only adds pressure as deadlines approach. Procrastination creates unnecessary stress, making simple tasks seem overwhelming. Taking action, even if imperfect, is always better than waiting for the perfect moment that may never come. Learning to prioritize is the key to mastering time. Not every task deserves your attention, and trying to do everything leaves you overwhelmed and ineffective. Prioritization means knowing what matters most and focusing your energy there. It's about saying no to distractions and low-value activities so you can say yes to what truly counts. Time used intentionally builds momentum, bringing you closer to your goals. Every decision about how to spend your time shapes your future. Opportunities are fleeting, and time is the currency you spend to seize them. Each opportunity comes with an expiration date, whether you see it or not. Hesitating or waiting too long allows those moments to slip away. Taking action while opportunities are still within reach builds confidence and opens doors to new possibilities. The key is to act with intention, knowing that every opportunity taken today creates options for tomorrow. Wasted time closes doors, but intentional action opens them. The quality of your time matters as much as the quantity. Spending time mindlessly, whether scrolling through feeds or engaging in shallow conversations, leaves you unfulfilled. Meaningful time comes from engaging deeply with what matters, whether it's work, relationships, or personal growth. The depth of your involvement determines the impact of your time. Being fully present in each moment makes your time valuable, creating experiences and achievements that last. Managing time well creates freedom. When you control how you spend your hours, you gain the power to shape your life. Poor time management leads to stress, missed deadlines, and constant catch-up. Effective time management, on the other hand, allows you to plan, execute, and rest without guilt. Freedom comes from knowing that you are in charge of your time, not the other way around. The discipline to manage time gives you the flexibility to pursue what matters most. Time spent aligning with your purpose multiplies its value. Purpose-driven actions provide direction, giving each moment significance. When your efforts are aligned with your goals, every second contributes to something meaningful. Wasted time creates drift, leaving you feeling lost and disconnected. Living with purpose transforms your time from something to be managed into something to be cherished. Purpose gives your time meaning, turning ordinary actions into steps toward fulfillment. Building a routine around priorities ensures that your time serves you. Routines create structure, helping you focus on what matters without constant decision-making. A routine built on your goals turns time into a powerful ally, supporting your progress day by day. It eliminates unnecessary distractions, ensuring that your efforts remain consistent. A strong routine doesn't restrict freedom, it enhances it by giving your actions purpose and direction. Saying no is essential to protecting your time. Every commitment requires a piece of your attention, energy, and effort. Saying yes to everything leaves you stretched thin, with little room for what truly matters. Learning to say no is not about rejecting people, it's about honoring your priorities. Each no protects your time for the things that align with your goals and values. Saying no when necessary creates space for meaningful work and genuine connection. Balancing effort with rest maximizes the value of your time. Rest is not a waste. It's a vital part of maintaining energy and focus. Without rest, even the most productive efforts become unsustainable. Time spent resting allows your mind and body to recover, ensuring that you can engage fully with your tasks. Balance is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about knowing when to push forward and when to step back. Sustainable progress requires both effort and rest. Time management is not just about efficiency, it's about intention. It's easy to fill your day with tasks, meetings, and activities, but intentional time management ensures that those efforts align with your goals. Efficiency without purpose leads to burnout. Intention brings clarity and satisfaction. Managing your time intentionally means making decisions based on what matters, not just what's urgent. Time spent with purpose builds a life filled with meaning and fulfillment. Managing time well brings freedom, but without boundaries, even the best use of time collapses under the weight of other people's demands. Boundaries aren't just barriers, they are essential structures that preserve your energy, protect your mental health, and keep your relationships balanced. A life without boundaries leads to exhaustion, resentment, and emotional chaos. Boundaries are not selfish, they are necessary. Failing to set them leaves you vulnerable to burnout, manipulation, and endless stress. Boundaries are how you teach others to treat you, and without them, life spirals out of control. Lack of boundaries leads directly to burnout. When you try to meet everyone's needs, you stretch yourself too thin. Taking on more than you can handle drains your mental, emotional, and physical energy. Burnout creeps in slowly, leaving you feeling exhausted and disconnected. Boundaries create space for recovery, ensuring that you have time to recharge. Without clear limits, burnout becomes inevitable because every moment is consumed by demands that drain your strength. Saying yes to everyone leaves no room for yourself. Each time you agree to something that doesn't align with your needs or goals, you sacrifice part of your well-being. Boundaries give you the power to say no, allowing you to protect your time and energy for what truly matters. Saying yes to everything may feel polite in the moment, but over time, it erodes your ability to focus on yourself. Boundaries ensure that you have time for self-care, reflection, and personal growth. People will only respect your boundaries if you enforce them. Setting a boundary without follow-through sends mixed signals, inviting others to test your limits. Boundaries are more than words, they require action. When you consistently uphold your boundaries, you teach others that your time and well-being matter. Without enforcement, boundaries lose their power, leaving you frustrated and overwhelmed. Respect starts with self-respect, and that means standing by the limits you set. Healthy relationships thrive on clear boundaries. Boundaries create mutual respect and understanding, allowing each person to feel valued and heard. They prevent misunderstandings and protect both parties from resentment. Without boundaries, relationships become strained as one person's needs overshadow the other's. Healthy relationships require space for individuality, and boundaries provide that space. Setting limits strengthens connections by ensuring that both people feel respected and understood. Boundaries protect your mental and emotional well-being by giving you control over your environment. They act as a buffer between you and external pressures, helping you manage stress and maintain balance. When you set boundaries, you take responsibility for your peace of mind. Without them, emotional chaos takes over as other people's demands, expectations, and opinions crowd your mental space. Boundaries create order and stability, allowing you to focus on what brings you peace. Failing to set boundaries leads to resentment. When you continuously prioritize others over yourself, frustration builds. Resentment grows when you feel taken for granted or overworked. Boundaries prevent this by making sure your needs are not neglected. They remind you and others that your well-being matters. Resentment is a sign that a boundary is missing or being ignored. Setting limits early helps avoid the buildup of frustration and keeps relationships healthy. Boundaries are essential for maintaining self-respect. When you set limits, you communicate that your time, energy, and emotions are valuable. Self-respect grows each time you enforce a boundary, reinforcing that your well-being comes first. Without boundaries, it's easy to fall into patterns of people-pleasing, sacrificing your needs for approval. Boundaries help you stay true to yourself, reminding you that self-respect is not selfish. It's essential. Setting boundaries helps prevent emotional exhaustion. Constantly being available to others leaves no time to process your own emotions. Emotional exhaustion builds when you are always giving but never receiving. Boundaries create space for reflection, helping you manage your emotions before they become overwhelming. They allow you to step back, recharge, and address your needs without guilt. Protecting your emotional energy ensures that you can show up fully when it matters most. Boundaries teach others how to treat you. When you set and enforce boundaries, you establish expectations for respect. People learn what behaviors are acceptable and what are not. Without boundaries, people may unintentionally overstep, leaving you feeling disrespected or taken advantage of. Boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about guiding them in how to engage with you respectfully. Consistent boundaries create a foundation of trust and mutual understanding. The absence of boundaries creates chaos. When you fail to set limits, life becomes a blur of constant demands, leaving little room for focus or stability. Boundaries organize your life by filtering out distractions and prioritizing what matters. They create structure, ensuring that your time and energy are directed toward meaningful activities. Chaos is the result of undefined limits, while order comes from clear boundaries. Boundaries allow you to pursue personal growth without guilt. Growth requires time, space, and focus, things that are impossible to cultivate without boundaries. When you protect your time for self-improvement, you ensure that your personal development isn't overshadowed by external demands. Boundaries give you permission to invest in yourself, knowing that you don't need to justify your need for growth. Personal growth flourishes in the space that boundaries create. Setting boundaries builds confidence. Each time you stand by your limits, you reinforce your belief in yourself. Confidence grows when you recognize that your needs and opinions are valid. Boundaries remind you that it's okay to say no and that your worth is not tied to how much you give. Confidence isn't just about self-assurance. It's about knowing that you have the right to protect your well-being, even when it's uncomfortable. Boundaries foster independence by encouraging you to take responsibility for your needs. When you rely on others to set limits for you, you give away your power. Setting boundaries empowers you to take control of your life, making decisions that align with your goals and values. Independence grows when you learn to manage your time, energy, and emotions effectively. Boundaries are not just protective, they are liberating. Boundaries reduce stress by creating balance. A life without limits becomes overwhelming as obligations pile up and expectations grow. Stress builds when you feel pulled in every direction, unable to focus on what's important. Boundaries create breathing room, allowing you to manage your commitments without feeling overwhelmed. They provide clarity, helping you prioritize and make decisions that reduce unnecessary stress. Balance is only possible when boundaries are in place. Setting boundaries helps you avoid burnout at work. Workplace demands can quickly escalate if boundaries aren't established. Without limits, it's easy to take on more than you can handle, leading to exhaustion. Boundaries protect your time and energy, ensuring that work doesn't consume your entire life. They allow you to disconnect and recharge, maintaining your productivity without sacrificing your well-being. Burnout is preventable when boundaries are clear and respected. Boundaries improve communication. Clear limits make it easier to express your needs and expectations. When you communicate boundaries openly, others know where you stand, reducing misunderstandings. Boundaries create a framework for honest conversations, allowing you to express yourself without fear of judgment. They provide clarity, making it easier for others to respect your needs. Effective communication flourishes when boundaries are understood and respected. Boundaries strengthen your relationships by creating mutual respect. Relationships thrive when both parties feel heard and valued. Setting boundaries ensures that your needs are considered alongside others. They prevent resentment from building by keeping expectations clear. Healthy relationships are built on trust, and boundaries are the foundation of that trust. When both people respect each other's limits, the relationship grows stronger. Boundaries protect your mental health. Mental well-being requires space to process thoughts, manage emotions, and reflect. Without boundaries, your mental space becomes cluttered with external pressures and distractions. Boundaries give you the time and space needed to maintain mental clarity. They help you manage stress, prevent burnout, and keep your focus on what matters most. Mental health is strengthened when boundaries are respected. Setting boundaries allows you to live authentically. When you establish limits that reflect your values, you align your actions with your beliefs. Authenticity requires knowing your limits and standing by them. Boundaries prevent you from living according to others' expectations, keeping you true to yourself. Living authentically means making decisions that honor your well-being, even when they challenge social norms. Boundaries make authenticity possible by giving you the freedom to be yourself. The truths we've explored are not easy to face, but they are necessary. Procrastination, fear, denial, perfectionism, financial missteps, poor boundaries. Each one chips away at your future if left unchecked. The Stoic path is not about avoiding challenges, but meeting them head-on, accepting life as it is, and taking control where you can. Your time is limited, your peace is sacred, and your purpose is waiting. Every decision you make today shapes the version of yourself that will wake up tomorrow. There's no savior coming. Your future depends on what you do right now. Let's hear from you. What's the hardest truth you've had to confront recently? How are you navigating it? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story could be the spark someone else needs. If you found value here, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us on this journey of growth and wisdom. There's more to explore, and every step forward counts.